the power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Good evening, everybody. It's another Thursday night, which means another Docking Bay 94. Could be listening to us on sci-fi.radio, sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. You could be watching us on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. Any of those things are good. I am Sean, Obi-Shawn Crosby.
I'm Colleen, Kaylee, Crosby.
And we are Sans Kit and Sans Jeff. We're both working tonight. That's crazy. Jeff has a shift till like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is nuts, I say. But work is good. So anyway, glad to have you all joining us again for another week of goofing off. It's not really work. We don't get paid.
Yeah, it is work. We just don't get paid.
Right. Oh my gosh. How's everybody doing this week? I'm looking at the chat. Alan's in. Lori's in.
I, for some reason, can't get in. I don't know what's going on.
That's weird. You can't get into the chat?
Oh, there it is. I couldn't get Twitch to load.
Oh. Crazy.
And I hadn't even tried yet with the other one.
Right. No problem.
Sorry, I'm still looking at things that we're going to be talking about today.
Right. We went for a walk just before we sat down to do this, and just like to the market and stuff. And I didn't notice in this walk the little robots, the food delivery robots.
I didn't see them either.
We noticed last week. So they must be gone, or maybe
the test was a failure.
Maybe we can't really tell if they're just like moving them around.
Well,
to
apparently
get a feel for the neighborhood.
Somebody said that they've been on the campus of Loyola, so maybe they were trying to bring them more out into the neighborhood, or maybe they're just trying to get the restaurants up on Lincoln and deliver only to Loyola. Who knows?
Could be, although yeah, I mean they were on both sides of the street. So
did we say hi to Lori?
Never knows. I said hi to Lori and to Alan.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a slow day. I think that's all who we have.
Hey, no worries. We're pretty cushy. This is I got a picture up there of our little food droids in the neighborhood.
They're very cheerful.
Yeah, they have little eyes. You know, they're very anthropomorphized, and they're cute. I don't know if they're going to be able to navigate our sidewalks, which I think are pretty crazy.
I think they could manage our street, our block on our street, but if you go around the corner from us, there's no way.
Yeah.
They would fall into the roots of the trees that are breaking up the sidewalks, the giant ficus trees, and there they would live out their lives.
That's not it. I know I had a picture of
the sidewalk.
The sidewalk.
Oh,
is that it?
Maybe it was a different post.
Maybe it didn't go. Sometimes
I saw it.
My posts don't go.
You posted it because I was going to post it, and then I was like, oh, Sean already did. I'll just steal his picture.
Oh, here it is. And so this is what the sidewalks in our neighborhood look like. It gets really rough on the right-hand side. You can see the upper right where it's just like very broken. There's like a sharp drop off, and I have my doubts as to whether or not these things are gonna, be able to really do the neighborhood.
Hello, Matthew Tillard.
It's equally
and
bad
Laura
on the other side of the
and
street.
Chris. Yeah, well, on the other side of the street, there's no sidewalk at all. And actually, this particular sidewalk, this broken sidewalk, is the only sidewalk on that block. The rest of the block has no sidewalk at all.
Right.
So, there's a lot of no sidewalk and broken sidewalk and
Anyway, looks like an experiment.
craziness.
And I've seen similar devices for years now around Hollywood. I've also seen a number of videos where these things are being vandalized. Seems to be a thing among bored skateboarders. They like to vandalize stuff. They did my car a few years back, and they stole R2. Same kind of thing. Like skateboarders in Hollywood decided they don't like the little food droids and beat them up.
I mean, people even like to beat up on droids that they like.
Yeah.
So that's why they weren't able to have them at Disneyland.
Right. Well, and do you remember the hitchhiking droid? I think they called it Hitchbot.
Right.
And it made its way across Canada or something with no problem. And then it came to the United States, and within weeks it was battered and broken and destroyed.
Oh, I didn't realize it got across Canada. Okay.
I think it did. I think it actually made it across some country that wasn't us. And I think we killed it.
Canada seems like a likely candidate for somewhere that would be nicer than the U.S.
Hitchbot was a Canadian hitchhiking robot designed as a social experiment by researchers at Ryerson University and McMaster University. It successfully hitchhiked across Canada, Germany, and the Netherlands before being destroyed by vandals in Philadelphia during its attempt to cross the United States. So it hit the city of brotherly love, and they killed it. Way to go, America. No, we don't have a violence issue here at all.
Yeah.
It's why we can't have nice things. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody what you did this week?
Sure. So, May 25th, of course, is what we like to jokingly call Orthodox Star Wars Day. May the 4th is a big internet holiday. Everybody celebrates it. Lots of events happen on that day. But if you were of a certain generation, May the 4th wasn't really celebrated until the internet age. So we celebrated May 25th as Star Wars Day. And as a result, Alan Kalachi, who's over in our chat and works for the Upland Public Library, throws their big Star Wars Day event as close to the 25th as we can do. So we did the 24th. So it was Star Wars Day Eve. And we had a 3-hour Star Wars event that went pretty great. So this used to be held at another library that was backed up against a mall. And so we'd get a lot of overflow people who just decided to come check out what it was. And so we had like thousands and thousands of people show up. And of course, now that we've moved libraries, we're trying to rebuild that. And we had a pretty good crowd of people. We had 6 Road Squadron cars on display. Myself, Jeff, we had Ron. Jeff has the Ghost. Ron has the TIE Corvette. And then Gregor and Lisa displayed their car for the first time, which is a Star Tours Honda Fit. We had Tim, who has a Star Wars car that I don't know the designation of yet. He might have told me. I don't remember what it was, but it's got a lot of Star Wars stickers and stuff on it. And then Don brought his sort of Jedi mobile out, which is being designed in such a way that he can also switch it over to be a Ghostbusters car. It's to do dual duty. It's kind of fun. So we had these 6 vehicles on display, which we drove up in front of the doors of City Hall. Had a nice display position. The California Collectors Club was there, Star Wars Collectors Club, and they bring stuff from like 50 years of Star Wars collecting, which is absolutely kind of amazing. We had cosplay for science, which is a group that's connected from a museum that is out of the local area, and they like to talk about paleontology and that kind of stuff. They always do a really good exhibit. I'm trying to think of who all else made it in. There's lots of pictures, but I don't see the list.
How long was the event?
It was only 3 hours, and so I have been the MC for all but 1 year, I think, of this event, and it's we're creeping up on 20 for this event. And 501st came out, the Rebel Legion came out. We had some Saber Guild people. Let's see, Mandalorian Mercs were there, and our primary guest of honor was Stephen Barnes, who did a panel with Kevin Shinnick and Christopher Cantwell. Christopher Cantwell did the Obi-Wan limited series of 5 comic books that was sort of about Obi-Wan's life, which was really cool. And Kevin Shinnick wrote Chewie and the Porgs, among other things. And he's also an actor. He's done a whole bunch of stuff. And then Stephen Barnes, of course, did The Glass Abyss, which is the new book out about Mace Windu. And so I got to moderate that panel, which was really fun. Talk to those guys. Hopefully they felt it was worth their time. And then we had Kevin and Tracy Thompson. Tracy collected all of Kevin's stories about being many Ewoks across Return of the Jedi and the Ewok adventure, the TV movies that they did, and the Battle for Endor. And he's a stunt guy, he's an actor, he's done many Ewok roles, which is really fun. And so we had them up there, and lots of story time. We had Darth Vader story time. We had Leia and the 3 Ewoks, and we had a costume pageant. It wasn't really a contest because everybody got something, and it was terrific.
Well, that's good.
And yeah, so it was a good way to celebrate. Of course, we're creeping up on the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. That'll be in 2027, and so we'll see how big that gets. But this was the 45th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back, and it was the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. And there was another one. I don't remember what the other...
Jaws?
No, it wasn't Jaws.
Has to be a Star Wars movie?
It was a Star Wars movie.
Oh.
Yeah, there were 3 that we had celebrated.
Well, Alan says that all of the panel guests on your panel loved it.
Oh, great, because I wasn't sure that they got to talk enough, and they're all really tremendous to talk to. I know that the people in the audience enjoyed it, and it's kind of a remote library, and so most of the people we get are very, very local. And I think our authors are also kind of on the local side, and so I'm hoping they just got up and drove 5 minutes and did the panel with me.
Well, Alan says it was the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens, that was the other one. I knew there was another one. But anyway, it was this big confluence of Star Wars films, and we had fun as always. A lot of goofing off. It was a lot of work. But the Upland Library volunteer staff and the employees there really have gotten into a groove, and so everybody made it look effortless, which was really great.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the only weird thing that happened was I almost forgot my costume and clothes there. Because I'm used to showing up at an event dressed, and I didn't quite feel up to it that day. So I brought my costume, I changed into it there, and then I forgot I had done that and left the library. And I got back there just as they were closing, just to grab my grab my stuff. Not that they wouldn't have held it for me or anything.
Right, but you don't want to make that drive twice.
No, it's a funny story because I was 0.2 miles away when I realized it, as opposed to being 55 miles away, which is how far away our house is from Upland and a library. 55 miles would have been not funny. Yeah. But anyway, always really grateful for the opportunity to do it. And like the staff of the library and the volunteers and things, I'm also quite in a groove with this thing. And it's funny, I felt the least prepared for this one than I had been for other ones, and yet it was fine. It went swimmingly, and it was and it's either I think better on my feet than I think I do, or whatever it was. Like, I didn't ask stupid questions. I didn't embarrass me or anyone else, So I felt really good about it once it was done. But going into it, I'm like, man, because we've had a rough couple of weeks, and I really felt like that was taking its toll on my planning for this event. So I feel like Alan did and Adam did more of the heavy lifting than they were supposed to, just because we had other stuff going on in our lives over here. So,
yeah.
But yeah, super fun, great parade, lots of road squadron, and I didn't meet anybody who didn't have fun. So,
well, good.
Yay.
Nice event.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then the next day, so I went to, while you were doing that, I went to our friend Maria's sewing circle, to which I didn't bring any sewing because I was exhausted and didn't feel up to it. So I went, said hi, ate a donut, and traced a pattern. That was about my skill level, was tracing a pattern.
Skill level or energy level?
Energy level.
Because we know you have skills.
Yeah, it was my energy level was trace a pattern. And it was pleasant. And then I came home and did some baking because I needed to bring something to the picnic I was going to the next day. And unfortunately, the cake that I made was still good, but it was the least good version of this cake that I've ever made.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like every time I've made it before, it's been outstanding. And this time it was okay.
It was just okay.
Yeah.
It was all right.
But normally it's like an award-winning cake. And so I was personally disappointed by the cake. And then the next day...
Well, if it was just you that was unhappy with it and everybody else thought it was fine.
Well, I didn't tell anybody that it was this outstanding, amazing cake normally, so I don't think they knew. They were like, oh, yeah, it's cake, it's fine. Okay. So no one else was disappointed because they weren't expecting award-winning cake. And then the picnic that I was making this for was at the Lanterman House in La Cañada, which is a historic home of the founders of La Cañada. And it's really funny because when we walked up, the person who was checking people in, which was new, they've never checked people in at this event before. You just walked in and took a piece of lawn and had the picnic.
Did you have to RSVP for the event?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I think I did.
So your name wasn't on a list?
No, they wanted your name and probably to send you stuff for their...
I'm sure, yeah. They're a museum. They want to spam you with their stuff.
Yeah. But I mentioned to the person who was checking people in that I grew up in La Cañada, where this museum is, and that when I lived in La Cañada, the owners of the house were still living there. And she said, that's not possible. And I said, well, I lived in La Cañada up until around 1985, which is when I graduated high school. And she's like, no, they weren't still living here then. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were. So I went into the gift shop where their main docent like sits in the gift shop, and I said, so could you remind me when the two brothers who inherited the house, at what point, like what year did they pass away and the house went to the city? And one of them died in 1981 and the other one died in 1986. So they were, in fact, it was a private family home while I was living in La Cañada. And I'm like, I moved in 1968. But the event, the weather for the day was predicted in La Cañada to have a high of 73. And so of the two outfits that I was deciding between, because the theme of the picnic was summer whites. So you were supposed to wear something either white or pastel or something summery. And my choices were a 1930s dress that is this very, very thin cotton with a very, very thin cotton underdress. So it's like either one of those two dresses would be see-through by themselves, but together they, it's not see-through. Or a skirt, a wool skirt, and a white blouse that was kind of a 1904 look. And I decided to go warmer because I thought, I don't want to be shivering at a picnic, with 73 degrees and something super thin. Yeah. I think it got at least into the high 80s. And I was sitting in the sun the whole time. I was completely overheated by the end of the picnic. So that was a challenge.
We're having what I've been calling hot flashes here in the city, because like the temperature will be about 70 and then it'll spike to 90 or 100 depending on where you are in the city for one day, and then it goes back to 70, and it's been a brutal transition to summer. Summer like sort of officially starts around Memorial Day, and it's been really rough over here. And kind of rough everywhere. I saw that in New York, they were complaining about how they're not getting their normal summer weather yet. It's still raining. It's still really a bummer. So, climate change, I guess. So things are looking weird. But we're in that weird limbo where you were both hot and cold.
Now, I'm looking at the historical weather for that May 25th of this year, and it claims that it never got above 68, which is insane. I can tell you it was above 68.
Yeah, totally.
It was like hot enough to melt things in my car. So, but understandable that cars are hotter, but it was insanely hot. Especially with no shade.
Yeah. Well, and I went to Disneyland on Wednesday, and it was really hot there too, and not just in the park, because I think of Disneyland as a giant heat reflector. It's all cement. It's basically like standing in the middle of a big, reflector, which is reflecting heat at you all over the place. But like outside the park, everywhere, it was also, pretty toasty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, and some of my friends who were going to be there weren't able to make it. So, it was a smaller group than I had thought, but it was still fine. Saw people that I enjoyed seeing, and picnicked with Amy and Brittany and Kelly and Amy's son Kai. So it was a fun day, but I was definitely ready to relax the next day.
Right.
But while I was doing that, Sean and Jeff and Dawn went out. So you should talk about that.
So Colleen bought us a couple of tickets to go to the American Cinematheque screening of Jaws. And they do it at a variety of theaters around the city, and one of them is the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood. It's across the street from the Chinese Theater and east like a block, and also east a block from the El Capitan Theater, which is Disney's flagship theater there. And while we were at the Star Wars exhibit, our museum, the Star Wars library thing, I mentioned that we were going to do this, and Don's like, yeah, that would be cool. I think we could do that. So gave him the information, and he scored tickets. And then I told one of our Ghostbuster friends, who's a huge Jaws fan, Vic, and he's like, yeah, that would be great. And so we ended up with like 6 people there instead of just Jeff and I. And we weren't even sure Jeff could go. And Colleen's like, if Jeff doesn't go, I'll go. But I thought it would be really fun for us to go down dressed as Hooper and Brody. So we get there at 5 o'clock, and Netflix has bought the Egyptian Theater. And so it's a little different than things have been. They close the gate off. They don't want a lot of people hanging out in the courtyard doing touristy things. Even though there was a screening going on inside the theater when we got there, they had a security guy and the gate was closed and that kind of thing. And there was a store that's to the east of the theater, and that is an all Netflix store. Now, they put in kind of this little strip mall in the courtyard of the Egyptian, and there's space for a whole bunch of stores and things. And so this one is taking up maybe 2 of the spaces, and it's very sparse. But if you really like Netflix stuff, they had a couple of interesting things. Like they had Finn Wolfhard's costume from Stranger Things from the Ghostbusters episode where he was dressed as a Ghostbuster, which was kind of funny because, of course, later on he became a Ghostbuster in the new movies. So that was kind of amusing. And you can go up and look at their, cheesy, we made this out of cardboard backpack and that kind of thing. Which I think they had to really exaggerate so that when we saw it on screen, it really looked cheesy. And if you like Wednesday or, whatever shows you like from Netflix, they had T-shirts and Funkos and that kind of stuff. But it was almost a museum. It was that sparse inside. There's lots of space and some shelves with some things on them. It was very weird. So anyway, we didn't have any luck getting in to the theater, so we went over to Johnny Rockets at Jeff's suggestion. Had some food, tried to get our parking validated, and then we went back to the theater. And the woman guarding the gate was just really excited to see Jeff and I actually dressed for the movie. So we went in, got in one of 3 lines. The line on the right were the American Cinematheque members who pay a yearly membership to get advanced screenings and ticket discounts and that kind of thing. There was the general purchase line, which was where we were in the middle. And then on the left was a line that eventually became populated by people who had seen the previous show. So I think it was The Thin Red Line was the movie they were showing, and the people got out of that, and if they were going to Jaws, they just got back in line. And so I think they took the members first, then they took the 6 people who were had already seen the previous movie, and then they got to us. So we went in, we sat down, beautiful theater. Colleen and I have gone to this theater off and on for a long time. We've watched it evolve as they try to do various things to restore it and maintain its historical aspect while being able to provide excellent films in there. And we got seats for Dawn, who was running a little late, and Vic and his friend were there. And so we sat down and ate a bunch of candy gummy sharks and watched the movie. And the movie itself was a 35 millimeter print from the 70s. So it's a little scratchy, but not too bad. But one of the things that's really interesting, so here you are in this state-of-the-art theater, and you're watching this sort of scratchy film on film. And you're hearing it with the mono soundtrack that films of the time had. And we're used to like surround sound and big wide stereo picture and all that kind of stuff. And so like it was a little tinny and screechy, and it was like all the sound was coming from behind the screen. It was this really weird 1970s experience, which was kind of cool if you like that sort of thing, which I do. So that was all right. And the thing that I really liked about it, and that I was talking about on my show this week, is that we see a lot of stuff on a pretty big screen in our house. We can watch Jaws anytime we want because we have it on Blu-ray or as a digital file or it's streaming somewhere, whatever. We can do that. And that's terrific. And, you know, it's perfect picture and it's stereo sound and it's been completely restored and it's great, right? But there's something about this kind of like, you know, ratty version of the movie and being in a theater with a couple of hundred people who are all excited to see it and hearing them laugh at the jokes and, you know, scream at the shocks and like kind of react to all of this. It's not a thing you get in your living room anymore. And it was almost worth the price of admission for that. I think tickets were like $17. And, you know, that was worth the price of admission. Like, you know, watching people jump when they find Ben Gardner's boat and, you know, people kind of like yell at the screen a little bit and, you know, make gross out sounds when they show something disgusting. And, you know, because you sit there and you know a movie so well. I mean, how many times have we seen Jaws in the past 50 years? And,
a lot.
Right, a lot. And, you know, we can quote it and often do. And, you know, we know all the character names. We know everything about this movie. And to watch people react to it. And there were people in the theater who had never seen Jaws. The guy who was hosting it, sometimes they have special guests. Their special guest in this time was Bruce the Shark, which was a woman in kind of like a fuzzy shark costume, which was very kind of weird. And so she got up and did a little dance, and haha, very funny. But he asked, you know, how many people have seen it? And everybody raised their hand. And then they said, well, how many people hadn't seen it? And a pretty fair number put their hands up that hadn't seen Jaws before. So, you know, it was kind of neat. And that's the whole purpose of the American Cinematheque. Preserve film, let people see it who haven't seen it before. You know, it was a good time. It was a really good time. So we definitely had fun. I'm glad we went in costume. And
glad you enjoyed the gummy sharks, too.
Totally, yeah. Colleen got us a huge bag of gummy sharks. She tried to get blue ones, but they didn't have the blue ones. So we had the rainbow ones. We shared them all around.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Hi to Budala and Talonthorn, who have popped in on Twitch. And Twitch is like the quietest I've ever seen it.
Right.
Crazy quiet. But we've also got Young Lee over on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we said hi to Laura Beelby already. And Chris. And everyone else who's there.
Yep. Alan
Lori
and
and Alan and yeah. And Matt Tillard. So howdy, everyone.
Lori makes a point that I make all the time, which is, you know, if you're of a certain age, you have a completely different experience with a movie than the evolution that it experiences over time. And so like she pointed out that Star Wars was just called Star Wars in 1977. It wasn't A New Hope. It wasn't Episode 4. It wasn't anything like that.
Right.
And Jaws, likewise, it was, you know, it didn't have stereo separation. It didn't have perfect picture. And I remember going to see it at our local theater in Simi Valley. My mom made a giant trash bag full of popcorn. We had one of those air poppers. And so me and a couple of buddies went and we sat down, and it was a double feature, Saturday morning double feature. And it was Jaws and Candle Shoe.
What a weird combination.
Right? And it's like there's this weird mistaken idea from adults at the time that Jaws was a kid's movie. And
that is odd.
I ran across that again and again and again over the course of it. Like our local park district would show Jaws on a screen in the park while you floated in the pool on an inner tube. And it was all kids. And, I remember one of my schools having a copy of the movie that they would show during like rainy day schedule or something like that. It was like a 16 millimeter copy of the movie that they had to run through a projector. And you'd be watching and there'd be music and action and all this stuff going on and sound and yelling. And anytime somebody like swore, the soundtrack would get quiet. They would just cut the sound out, which was hysterical. It would go quiet for like a second and then it would come back. Yeah, I mean, there's the movies that we enjoy now are so different, and Disney Plus is a great example of this. You go to Disney Plus, look up the cartoons from Mickey Mouse and other characters from the 1930s that they're streaming on there. You have never seen them that good. There's no film grain. The texture that is normally there in a film print has been removed by like AI, and they look terrific, but they are not what you grew up with. They're a very different kind of thing. And I guess in this new age, you want to keep them current for the current generation. And, kids today don't know tape hiss. They don't know film grain. They don't know all that kind of stuff.
I mean, if you weren't doing it to be retro and to enjoy something from the past, there would be no reason to have those things.
Right. Although, with vinyl making a comeback, I mean, all that stuff has been reintroduced to kids. I mean,
right, but that's like a nostalgia thing.
Right, it is. It is.
Yeah, so that was our week. You already talked about going to Disneyland.
I did. Nothing particularly amazing to report that I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to Star Wars.
All right.
Jeff's not here to talk about Star Wars.
I got him. I got it covered. So, Star Wars birthday history, 5/29/1905. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing that... Well, go ahead and say who it is.
Okay, it's Sebastian Shaw.
But in our notes, it says Anakin.
Yes. Sebastian Shaw,
I mean, technically, yes,
played Darth Vader without a helmet at the end of Return of the Jedi. He was Anakin Skywalker in his first introduction to us.
But was that really even Anakin anymore? It was Darth after that. Is
Yeah.
he only Darth when he's wearing his helmet?
Well, I mean, when he got a last-minute reprieve, he shows up as a Force ghost as Anakin Skywalker on Endor. And so it's Anakin and Yoda and Obi-Wan.
I guess I forgot that
Luke
it used to be
sees them.
Sebastian Shaw there and not,
Yeah.
what's his name?
David Prowse?
No, they replaced him with the
They did.
younger Anakin.
Yes.
Not young guest, younger.
Younger, right.
Right.
And, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a strange thing when they did, but it made...
I mean, it's
It
so
made
funny.
George happy.
When Sebastian Shaw was born, cars were new.
Right.
I mean, newish.
Completely.
They weren't brand new, but...
And, cinema was still a burgeoning art form. And so Sebastian Shaw was actually... He was a stage actor for the most part. He did some film and TV too, but he's only got like 40 credits to his name. But he used to perform with like the Royal Shakespeare Company. He loved Shakespeare, did a lot of what they considered like daring Shakespeare productions. He kind of shake things up and whatnot. But as the sort of redeemed Anakin Skywalker, I mean, it was a big deal in 1983 when we first saw him. He got his own action figure. It was even though he was just a Force ghost, and it was a good it was good casting. I mean, it kind of made sense, even though, like, I'm sure David Prowse was upset that they didn't just use him in there. And of course, they made him look like Humpty Dumpty. They got rid of his eyebrows and his hair, and made him look like he got dumped into a volcano. And he really only had like the one scene with Mark Hamill as Luke, but it was enough of an impact,
Right.
and not too bad. And so I have a soft spot for him.
So in 1905,
Yeah.
the first Russian Revolution happened, and Albert Einstein published his paper on special relativity. That the same year that Sebastian Shaw was born.
How many cousins removed is special relativity? 5/26/1913, Peter Cushing was born. Of course, he was Grand Moff Tarkin. Not Grandma Tarkin. That would be someone else. But he was originally, according to him, approached for the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Which he, then decided that he would rather have the other role. So I don't know if that's really true or not. Of course, the famous story for Peter Cushing on the Star Wars set was his feet are very long and narrow, and so finding boots to fit him is very difficult. And usually when he's in a production, the production makes boots for him, because he once showed his feet were about like 13 inches long or something like that. And they couldn't get him boots made in time for his role, so he got some off-the-shelf boots that just didn't fit. And so
he was size 12 foot.
He was grumpy. He was upset. He was very uncomfortable, and he pulled George aside and he says, "Look, far be it from me to ask you for extra close-ups, but could you just shoot me from the waist up so I don't have to wear these stupid boots?" And George went, "Yeah, I guess, okay, we could do something about it." And they got him slippers, what he calls carpet slippers. And so he had the jodhpurs on, which of course stop mid-calf. And then he's got like little socks on and carpet slippers. And that's all of this being angry with Princess Leia and all of that kind of thing. He's just wearing slippers on the set, which is really funny. And but anyway, of course, Peter Cushing had an extremely long career. He also didn't like the term horror. He made a very big point about not considering the movies that he did horror, because he thought horror was reserved for real life scenarios, like the tragedy of the real world and things. So when he was doing The Curse of Frankenstein, Horror of Dracula, Hound of the Baskervilles, The Mummy, all of that kind of stuff, he didn't really consider that kind of stuff to be like a horror movie. He just thought that it was fantasy. And so it was a really interesting distinction. They used to argue all the time, which I thought was kind of interesting.
So, hey to Don, who just arrived.
Hey, Don.
And Young Lee asks, if someone cosplays Tarkin, is it acceptable to wear carpet slippers?
I don't believe for acceptance in the 501st, but if you're doing an informal event, I think and especially at a convention, I think the slippers are hysterical. And if you are specifically playing Tarkin, if I can look at you and tell that you are Peter Cushing and you're wearing slippers, I will totally applaud you. I think that would be great. We've had a whole bunch of really interesting costumes that are like sort of background costumes and weird stuff. We had the guy from The Mandalorian who was hiding in the background and you could see him through part of a door in his jeans and a t-shirt and a watch. People have played that. There's Pink Shorts Guy, who is the boom microphone operator in Tunisia when they're shooting on Tatooine in Mos Eisley. And he's got the boom mic over his head. He's got no shirt. a pair of sneakers, and bright pink shorts. People cosplay him all the time. Of course, there's Wilro Hood, who is the ice cream maker guy running through The Empire Strikes Back. That guy even got his own action figure, which is really funny. Came with a little ice cream maker. He's just wearing like part of an X-wing jumpsuit, I think. But so there's people like to do these sort of like oddball, left field kind of characters with a twist, and I think doing Tarkin with slippers is great,
especially if you have the right jodhpurs.
Yes, exactly. If you have to have that nerdy kind of look. I don't know. There are pictures that I have seen of Tarkin with slippers, and the question is like, can I find them? Here's one, which I'll show to the video folks. Let's see. You can kind of tell. It almost looks like he's wearing putty or something. So you can see that his like jodhpurs stop just below the knee, and then he's got like socks or stockings or something, and low things, and he's being mean to Princess Leia and looking really tough. This is a rehearsal because Vader doesn't have his helmet on. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of pictures like that I think are really sort of amusing, and I think I found somebody. Let me see if I can get this picture to load up. I think I found somebody who is doing that as a cosplay. So there's a guy. He's doing Tarkin in slippers. Mm. Except the armor thing that he's wearing is not a Tarkin thing.
It's weird. Yeah,
I don't know what that's about. But the slippers idea is very funny. I am there for it. Let's see. Peter Cushing was very good friends with Christopher Lee, who, of course, later on went to be in Star Wars as Count Dooku. Christopher Lee has a meme based on him that talks about how badass he was and how he's better than Chuck Norris. And it's there's like this entire list of who Christopher Lee was. And on his birthday, he had released a whole bunch of heavy metal songs and stuff like that, which I thought was really, really kind of interesting. So it says, here's some things about Christopher Lee. It says he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for most film acting roles ever at over 200 film credits. He has 75 television acting credits and many uncredited film roles as well, appearing in over 350 movies. He's also in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the tallest actor to ever star in a film at 6'5". He's the only actor in Lord of the Rings to have met J.R.R. Tolkien. He also told Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings, of the proper sound a man makes when he is stabbed in the back. Christopher Lee knew this because he was in World War II as part of the British Special Operations Executive. Basically, he was a secret agent. Christopher Lee fought in World War II. He joined the Royal Air Force at the age of 17 in 1939, which made him 77 years old when he was in Lord of the Rings. He's fluent in 7 languages, has released a metal album and a Christmas heavy metal album. And, of course, he was a knight. So, like, you just can't beat Christopher Lee. Plus, he played Lucifer, he played Death, he was Saruman, he was Lord Summerisle, Sherlock, and Mycroft Holmes. He was a Bond villain. He was Dracula. He hunted Nazis during World War II. I mean, Christopher Lee was a badass. Just saying.
Very much so.
And then, of course, he was Count Dooku. And if you'll notice, the interesting thing about Count Dooku, he's about the only guy in Star Wars who doesn't scream when he loses an appendage to a lightsaber. Everybody else does. Luke did. Mace Windu did. Christopher Lee was like, whoa, bummer. Ray Stevenson, who played Baylan Skoll in Ahsoka and was the voice of Gar Saxon in Rebels, was born on Star Wars Day, May 25th. Of course, we recently lost him, and his role, unfortunately, has to be recast. But we lost him on May 21st of 2023. Irish actor. And I think Dawn cosplays as him, actually. Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
I think I've seen pictures.
Yep. It's terrific. Young Lee's like, Christopher Lee was my uncle. That's pretty funny.
Like, really?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think he's playing on the name similarity. Although, if he wants to provide proof, I will sit corrected. I could be wrong. You never know. Okay, that's our Star Wars birthdays. 5/25/77, Star Wars opened in theaters. And while I mentioned that, there's actually a really great movie by Patrick Reed Johnson called 5/25/77, which, if you haven't seen, you should. It's a little bit of an autobiographical thing about when Patrick came to Hollywood and got to see Star Wars before anyone else because he got to hang out with the ILM guys in Van Nuys. And it features John Patrick Daly as the lead of the film. And it's great. I'll just say it's very, very cool. So if you want to celebrate 5/25/77, it's a good way to do it. 5/24/2007, Celebration 4 kicked off in Los Angeles for the 30th anniversary of Star Wars. Many of us here in Southern California were very involved in that, especially me. I had to go to city council meetings and talk to the mayor about Star Wars. That was weird. And then we had it declared Star Wars Day on 5/25/2007 in the city of LA. 5/28/2007, Star Wars: A Legacy Revealed aired on the History Channel. They did a whole bunch of really interesting Star Wars stuff over the years that were cool, kind of documentaries and how Star Wars related to real world history here on our planet.
Interesting.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay. I guess moving on to theme parks. Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags Magic Mountain have presidents of the theme parks, not to be confused with, as I did when I first saw the headline, people in costumes of former presidents of the United States walking around the park. The presidents of their of the theme parks have been let go by the parent company.
They are victims of the merger of Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags Magic Mountain, and Cedar Fair. And Cedar Fair is like this massive theme park company that is kind of gobbling everything up. And they had said that they weren't going to do this, but, you know, companies gonna company, so they did. John Storbeck was president of Knott's Berry Farm. Jeff Harris was president of Magic Mountain. And they're going to have their jobs for about 2 days as they ride out the month. And then they're going to be replaced with somebody from Cedar Fair. I mean, the idea... Apparently, there are 27 amusement parks in the chain.
That's a lot.
And all of the presidential positions are being cut.
That's more than just 2.
Yes. And so it says this, all 27 amusement parks in the chain will lose their presidents, and the roles will not be filled. It says some park presidents will remain with the company in other roles, but they're going to have a regional operating structure. I mean, to be fair, presidents and CEOs and things like that command high salaries, but it just seems to me that you need to have one person in charge on site to do that. But they're changing the roles and responsibilities of the park leaders. It says they're sharpening the park's focus on execution, which is nothing I want from a theme park.
No, I don't want to be executed
Right?
at a theme park.
It's like, it just doesn't sound fun. Execution, the guest experience, and associates. It's a 10% staff reduction across the entire company.
It's interesting, though, that they're letting all of the presidents go, because usually they let all of the janitors go.
Yeah, but I mean, the quickest way to reclaim a whole bunch of money is get rid of your highest paid employees.
Right, but a lot of companies don't do that.
They
do that and give them such a huge pension,
Right. Golden parachute.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Here in California, Discovery Kingdom and Great America are also losing their guys. But anyway, they say that this restructuring is going to be done by the end of June. So we'll have to see.
Wow.
It's Storbeck, who was from Knott's Berry Farm, started at Disneyland as a ride op and then ended up as vice president of Downtown Disney and the Anaheim hotels for Disney before he moved over to Knott's. And he was considered one of the 100 most influential people for 2020 for reinventing Knott's Berry Farm into a socially distanced food festival during COVID. You remember when they did that? They set up Knott's Berry Farm so you could actually go there and shop and do food.
Right.
But not go on rides.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were smart about that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Disney was like, no, we're not going to open up at all. And,
yeah, Disney
and then at the
tried
very
to catch
end,
up.
Yeah, they tried to catch up, and that didn't work. Speaking of Disney, at Disney World, there is a new Pirates of the Caribbean restaurant called the Beak and Barrel. It's coming to the Magic Kingdom, the Adventureland section, which, like, I hope they didn't get rid of the Skipper Canteen, because that was my favorite restaurant.
No, they can't get rid of that. It's too good. I think it's in a different part of the park anyway. So here, we'll give you a look at the logo for this. And
they have it's heavily themed, and they've got things like bottles that apparently have duals. The Jungle Skipper Canteen is still there.
Yeah, I can't imagine they would get rid of that. It's an excellent restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a fan favorite. Apparently, this bird is called Rummy. Okay. Rummy the parrot. He's the quartermaster.
Right. They haven't released the menu or the opening date yet, but they do have some artist renderings of what the dining rooms look like.
The largest and central space at the Beak and Barrel was once the mess hall for Spanish soldiers and is now appropriately known as the Mess. Long tables span the room, allowing for pirates to gather around and tell their own tales, while an imposing anchor covered in candles and dripping wax hangs high above. Guests may also spot the enchanted rum bottle, which was gifted to Mary by the enchantress Tia Dalma. She was in one of the movies, I think. She was like the voodoo priestess. Captain's quarters. I mean, it looks pretty fancy. We'll have to see how this all kind of shakes out. Anyway, everything's supposed to have a very weather-worn look, as if there had been many pirate battles and everything. And, it's not bad.
And then at Disneyland Resort, just the other day, Sean missed out
I'm kind of bummed about
on
this, actually.
Savannah bananas. And I had never heard of the Savannah bananas. Sean had to tell me what they were. I thought they were like the...
Bananas in pajamas?
Bananas in pajamas, I guess. So there's some photos there of when they were at the park. The first link is actually banana food you can get at the resort in celebration of the Savannah bananas.
So, in case you don't know what the Savannah Bananas are, they are an exhibition team, much like the Harlem Globetrotters, but for baseball. And so they do outlandish plays in the fields and stuff, and they're showboating and goofing off and things like that. They wear ridiculously bright yellow uniforms. Here's a picture of them here, and they had a parade. They went on rides. They goofed off a lot. The person in the background of this picture of the castle that is now blocked by this dumb thing is actually on stilts. And when they first brought that guy onto the potentially to be on the team, they're like, what the hell are we going to do with a guy on stilts? And then he turned out to be like amazingly entertaining, and they're like, you're in, dude, awesome. So these guys are touring the country. Apparently, I guess that's the only picture there. They took over the park. And usually I go on a Wednesday. I didn't go because we were having a dinner with friends that night.
Oh, you're looking at a different thing than I was looking at.
I am.
Okay.
I'm going to get yours now.
You might have to click through to get to that. It's a Facebook post.
Yeah, I see it.
And it looks weird when you first open it, but then you can click through.
No problem. There we go. I got it.
So Sean had a Disneyland reservation for yesterday, which is the day that the bananas, what are they?
The
Savannah bananas were at the park. But we ended up, some friends were in town, so he canceled the reservation and we went to go see our friends.
We did that instead. So I missed out. Oh, well.
But you got to see our friends, which is more
happens.
important.
I did, which was really great. You can buy tickets. You can go see these guys on the field doing their thing. But apparently it was quite the big deal, and they took over the omnibus, and so they were there with the hearty participation of Disney. It was
very yellow.
It was pretty.
Did
great.
you see the banana boat? Did you see that picture?
No.
Which was the Savannah bananas in the Tiana's ride?
Oh, yeah, I think that was
boat.
the first one. I didn't realize that was the banana boat. But
the boat filled with bananas.
They kind of clash with the 70th anniversary decorations, which is pretty funny.
So it's interesting that they had special food for this one-day event at Disneyland Park. Some of these things I know are there for a longer amount of time, but some of them I'm wondering if they were only there for the day.
Oh, I don't know.
Like they've got brown butter banana upside down cake at Blue Bayou. Was that only there for the day, or is it the seasonal item on their menu?
Here's one of the banana boats.
Yes. They also, at the park, they had 13 different items. They had the brown butter banana upside down cake at the Blue Bayou. They had the banana split at the Gibson Girl, banana pudding at Hungry Bear, the Banafee tart at Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe, which looks really good. Banana dip for the chocolate chip cookies at the Harbor Gallery. And honestly, it looks like a bowl of yellow mustard. Banana snowball, which is like a snow cone with banana flavor, and banana candy on top. Banafee pie cold brew. banana split churro, which also looks really good. The Oswald sundae, which has it's an ice cream sundae in a waffle cone that has two ends of a chocolate dipped banana coming out of it, like it's Oswald's ears.
Nice.
So that's kind of fun. Banana conanza churro, which is a churro topped with banana cream and crust dust, which looks like chocolate. Strawberry banana sensation, which is a smoothie. And then they have frozen bananas all over the park.
I meant to break in at the top of the hour, but we started on this kind of longish story. You are listening to Sci-Fi.radio, Sci-Fi for your Wi-Fi. That's our URL. You can go over there for some nerd news and listen to the station over there. Or you can listen to the station on your smart speaker or lots of other places like that. And we tell you on the site how to do that. You could be watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. The show is Docking Bay 94. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
Big thanks to Kit Boba-Kit Sovine, who does our control document, and to co-host Jeff Donoho, who is working till 1 a.m. driving the submarines at Disneyland. So, no Jeff tonight. Just so you know. Yeah, the whole banana thing sounded good. I didn't hear anything about it in advance.
No, not at all.
And I talked to a whole bunch of people. One of the things I didn't mention that I did this weekend was I went to a premiere of a short film I worked on 8 years ago.
Oh, I forgot about that.
If you go to YouTube and you do a search for Star Wars the Musical, find one by George Shaw. George is a composer who does a lot of TV music and game music. Very talented man. I did an event with our friends, the Paulsons, a couple other Star Wars people at the Warner Grand Theater in San Pedro, and somebody made an introduction for me to George, saying George is working on a Star Wars musical. This was when Disney had just acquired Star Wars, and so his musical was taking Disney music and Star Wars music and mashing them together. And, of course, I had to be a part of this. I completely foisted myself on him. I'm like, I can kind of sing. I have a costume. I look like Obi-Wan Kenobi. You have to let me be part of this. And I can bring other costumes. I can do whatever. It'll be awesome. And so he very kindly let me participate in this thing. We shot it the weekend our house got robbed. The week our house got robbed. It's a real bummer. This is like the milestone that I remember. When did we shoot that? Anyway, so that one has been up for a few years online. I think it's like 12 years old or something like that, whenever Disney took over Star Wars. And this other one, we did a sequel. And so the sequel that we did was called The Empire's New Groove. Sorry, there's like a moth or something in here. The Empire's New Groove. And we did more of the same, except for The Empire Strikes Back. So Tim, who played Luke Skywalker, was there and did all the Hoth stuff. I was Ghost Obi-Wan and Yoda, the Yoda puppet. And so that was pretty fun. And we had our Princess Leia returning, Haviland Stillwell. And our Han Solo was from Andrew. What is Andrew's last name? I can't remember. He was in Mad TV. Andrew Bowen was our Han Solo. And, a whole bunch of 501st people involved. Kit was involved. Kevin Fox was our Darth Vader. We had all sorts of really great people involved in it. It was super fun. So I hadn't seen it, and they've been showing it around. They had a premiere at USC that I couldn't make it to, and so they threw this thing. And so I'm like, great, oh, cool. And they put out a Facebook invite, And I said I would go. And so we went to someone's house. And the guy who hosted this, oh my gosh, he had a DeLorean in the garage, stock DeLorean, absolutely beautiful. He had Marty McFly's 4x4 truck from Statler Toyota from the movie, a replica in his garage, and a bunch of cases of Back to the Future replicas and memorabilia and stuff. It was absolutely amazing. It's like his favorite movie of all time. And so he hosted this barbecue. We screened the thing on a screen in the backyard, so we got to see it. But the invite said dress up. So I went, oh, okay. So I kind of split the difference. I wore my crew shirt from the previous episode, which features Han Solo and a bunch of princesses with lightsabers and like a chibi style. Which is one of my go-to Disneyland shirts because everybody's always like, oh my God, princesses with lightsabers. Where did you get that? It's awesome. And then and I wore a kilt. And I thought I'll split the difference. I'll be kind of formal. It said dress up. This will be comfortable. Well, apparently dress up meant come in Star Wars costume, which I didn't understand. So if you could believe this, Sean Crosby, was like one of the few people there not in Star Wars costume. It's like, what? It was kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
We had fun, and everybody who worked on this is so much fun. It's a really great crowd, and I had an absolutely tremendous time. I was supposed to go meet with our friend Andrew and have dinner because he was in town from Arizona. But the time frame, the whole schedule was like very sort of blown out, and so like they didn't show the short until like 9:00 or something. It was nuts. That was my whole purpose for going. I thought they were going to run it all day. I thought it was going to be an open house. It turned out to be a birthday party for someone, for like the producer.
I'm glad they have good communication.
Yes, it was. There was a lot of learning on the fly. But it was really a lot of fun. Jeffrey Chin was the writer and producer, and he was the one who was having a birthday. He directed it, anyway, it was really neat to kind of see everybody again. Haven't seen them in years.
Cool.
So that was very fun. Definitely enjoyed that.
Do you want to take the rest in peace section?
I will. We lost at the age of 84. Les Dilley. He was a art director on Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and a bunch of other movies. Complications from Alzheimer's, unfortunately, and he died on May 20th. He used to like to just build stuff, and he got to do that kind of stuff for movies as well. He also worked on Alien and The Empire Strikes Back and The Abyss. He got a BAFTA award for Outstanding Contribution to British Cinema. And, of course, he won an Academy Award each for Star Wars and for Raiders of the Lost Ark. The 1973 Three Musketeers, Jesus Christ Superstar, the original Superman movie with Chris Reeve, American Werewolf in London, Inspector Gadget, all sorts of movies to his credit. Super, super talented guy. Sad to hear of his passing, but you know his work well, and better yet, you like it. So, Rick Derringer passed away at the age of 77. He had a hit when his band, the McCoys, recorded Hang On Sloopy. Also did the song Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. And he produced Weird Al Yankovic's debut album. He died in Florida. They didn't say from what, but he did session work with Steely Dan. He did the guitar solo on Total Eclipse of the Heart with Bonnie Tyler, and he produced music for Cyndi Lauper. So a pretty good thing. And of course, everything old is new again. So Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo was in the 4th season of Stranger Things. And he had all sorts of stuff. But the only Grammy he ever won was for Weird Al Yankovic's Eat It.
Oh.
So there you go. One last guy passed away today. Peter Kwong, who played Rain in Big Trouble in Little China. I don't know if you remember the Storm villains. But in the 1986 movie that John Carpenter directed, he was a martial arts warlock in their big rattan hat. And one did rain, and one did wind, and one did lightning. He did a whole bunch of other stuff, too. The A-Team, Wonder Woman, Little House on the Prairie, Miami Vice, Greatest American Hero, MacGyver, Dynasty, Cagney and Lacey. But the Three Storms, where he was, he faced off against Jack Burton, was Kurt Russell, and pretty great stuff. So, and he was also in The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. Had a pretty extensive career. I think he had something like 89 credits under his name. And we lost him today at the age of 73.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I guess we'll just go through what we have left here.
Oh, Jeff chimed in. He's eating dinner. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, hey, Jeff. Where did Jeff chime in?
Over
on Twitch.
Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Coming to LA and Orange County, starting today, I think today was the first day, there's a Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck. It's to advertise the upcoming new season of Phineas and Ferb, which starts on June 5th on the Disney Channel. And the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck is giving out free frozen treats at the places where it's going to appear. The ice cream truck will stop by 40 different locations in LA and Orange County. The only problem is, in the article that we have here, they tell you what day the truck will be in like 5 or 6 different locations, but not what time. So like tomorrow, the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck will be at the Point in El Segundo, but it will also be at the Manhattan Beach Pier, the Southern California Children's Museum, and the Kids Space Children's Museum. And there's no notion of when.
Yeah, I have an
places.
entire list of stops that say nothing about when or in what order.
Oh, you don't even have a date?
No, I have a date.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't have a time.
So I did happen to notice that on Saturday, they're going to be at the Runway Plaza Vista Farmers Market, and the Farmers Market is only open from 9 to 2. So we're going to try and run down there and see if we look into a visit with the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck.
Yeah, hopefully. Be pretty good. And just to let you know, so these are going to air first on the Disney Channel, and then the following day they will go live on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, you'll be a day behind, but that's not horrible. And last I understood, I think they did 40 new episodes, which is pretty great. So if you were a fan of Phineas and Ferb, this is like the next summer. And there's already a short online that you can look at that they're in school. It's the last day of school. The big musical number is they decide to start their summer half a day early. And just about everybody from the original voice cast is back, with the exception of Thomas Brody Sangster, who I think is doing something else. And so they have a new Ferb. And if you remember the gimmick for Ferb had one line every episode. He didn't talk a lot. So they got somebody to step in and take care of Ferb on his behalf.
Hmm.
Some of these I don't think you can even get to. Like Wednesday the 4th is at the Walt Disney Studios lot. Like, that sounds closed to the public.
Right.
So.
And also, you would need to know when, because if they would let you in,
Yeah.
it would be. But maybe it's only for Disney employees for that one.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It's coming to the Point in El Segundo.
It's going to the Point in El Segundo twice. So it's going to be there tomorrow and then again sometime next week.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. Well, fingers crossed. I would like to go check it out. I'm ready. I got Perry the Platypus over here. We're good.
Yeah. You want to grab a topic to talk about?
Sure. Let me close these windows here. I got lots of windows open all over the place. So if you're a big Walt Disney fan, you might know that early in the studio's career, Walt Disney had no real commissary going on. And so he used to take business meetings over at a restaurant which has been around since 1926. This is called the Tam O'Shanter. You've heard me talk about the Tam O'Shanter in connection with Robert Burns Night in January. It's the big celebration where we have lots of meat, lots of ale, and lots of haggis. It's a big celebratory thing that some of the guys from the UCLA Science Fiction Club started, and we've been going for quite some time. And if you check out the restaurant and have been there for any reasonable number of visits, you will have probably learned that Table 31 was Walt Disney's favorite table. They did add an atrium onto the restaurant so that Walt could have large meetings there. And that is actually where they usually put us when we do our Burns Night thing, because we're usually 15, 18, 20 people. But this one booth, which is it's like a booth and a couple of chairs, and it's off in the corner with some Disney art above it, is like the sort of actual Disney booth. It was like Walt's favorite place. And there's a plaque to that effect on the table. It says this was a favorite spot of Walt Disney and his Imagineers. And in fact, the table is preserved as well as they could, where there are sketches etched into the table of like dinosaurs and stuff. And so in particular, there's one that looks like the end of the train ride at Disneyland, which features the T-Rex and the Stegosaur. And that is either from the 1964 World's Fair, or what I think, and maybe they know at the restaurant, but when I asked, they didn't know. Maybe it's from when they were bringing that stuff back from the World's Fair and trying to decide what they were going to do with it at Disneyland. Because it basically looks like the diorama from the Primeval World, which is really cool. So if you want to sit at this booth, you have that opportunity.
It's called the Walt's Table 31 Dinner Experience, or Lunch Experience.
Or lunch, depending on when you do it.
Yeah.
And so when the studio was located on Hyperion Avenue, Walt used to go there a lot. He used to take guests. And it was originally a Van de Kamp's restaurant. And then eventually it became a Lowry's restaurant, which is what it is now. And it's a Scottish restaurant with a very Tudor kind of feel to it. And it's all beams and stucco and thatch and that kind of thing. And the people who created the restaurant in its current incarnation, it's been said that maybe they were partially inspired by the look of Snow White to create their kind of cool things. So there's a lot of stuff you can check out in the restaurant. And if you're in Los Angeles, whether you're traveling here or you live here, it's worth going. The meal isn't cheap. I think it's $80 a person. Is that what you said?
It's for dinner. It's $89 a person.
The food is exceptional. It's really, really good.
But the food for the Walt's Table 31 experience is it's what Walt may have eaten, so it's a little more mid-century.
Yeah, it's a little off, and it's not in this article that I have here.
Okay, so I have it right here.
Okay.
The dinner menu is, and basically the lunch menu is the same thing, but it's like $68 instead of 80, whatever I said, 89. So you can go at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, and your starters are deviled eggs or devils on horseback, and devils on horseback are stuffed dates, and pickled vegetables. The first course is a choice of a wedge salad or our famous chili, the same since 1927. And I hope it's not like the same pot, just the same
it's
recipe.
The same grease.
And then your second course, you get to choose from the 31 platter. And the 31 platter sounds like ridiculous, but I think it's just like a very fancy hamburger. And what it is a charbroiled burger steak served open-faced on toasted sourdough with chili, bacon, Scotch rarebit, and Scotch rarebit is a cheese sauce, chopped onions, and fries. And that was reportedly Walt's to-go order. Alternatively, you can get pan-roasted Scottish salmon with barley and kale salad and pickled fennel, or you can get their California cut of prime rib with mashed potatoes, cream spinach with bacon, and Yorkshire pudding, or the vegetarian dish of the moment. And for dessert, you get to choose from C.C. Brown's hot fudge sundae or English trifle. So the lunch experience is $69 a person. The dinner experience is $89 a person. And it's funny because I would want to choose the 31 platter just for the whole Waltz experience, because you get like the chili that way and the open-faced burger and the rare bit. But really, if I'm going to Lowry's, I want the prime rib.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that their prime rib is absolutely amazing. And so Walt loved chili. That's like no secret to anybody. And Walt's favorite chili was really basic. They would take a can of like Gebhardt's chili, and you can't get Gebhardt's chili anymore, I don't think, but you can still get Gebhardt's chili powder. But they would take Gebhardt's chili and Dennison's chili and mix 2 cans. And that's what Walt would eat. And of course, that's what they would serve at the parks, so that Walt could have it. And then when Gebhardt's kind of went away, they had to sort of make up a recipe. So you can find a lot of like Walt's chili recipes that sort of approximate this mix of chilies. And so for them to like offer chili, is, Walt just liked canned chili. He didn't like anything really fancy. And so it's almost kind of weird to get it at this fancy restaurant, even if they make their chili from scratch or whatever.
I will have to say that I won a chili cook-off once by mistake. I was running the chili cook-off at a company I worked at, and I was worried that no one would participate. So I went to the grocery store and bought 1 can of each, like 1 small can of each kind of chili that they had, and dumped it all into a crock pot. And just, when I got to work in the morning, just plugged that in and let it go. And then a whole bunch of people did bring their chili for the contest. And I forgot about the chili that I had put there, and it was sitting there unlabeled and everything. Everybody else's had a label and, what it was. And the people voted, and I won the chili cook-off by mistake.
That's pretty funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, there are various books out there that have recipes of, Walt's favorite chili and that kind of thing. And I think that they approximate it. Also, Fritos was a sponsor of Disneyland, and that was Walt liked eating there at the Casa de Fritos, which is now the Zocalo there.
I like a good, what did they call it? Pepper belly.
Pepper belly, yeah.
Yeah.
So chili with Fritos.
You slice open the bag of Fritos and put a scoop of chili on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so anyway, this sounds like a really fun thing to do. I'd love to like
Up to 4 people can.
Yeah, I'd love to grab a couple other people
participate.
and go do it. I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
And you know, for a super hardcore Disney fan, it's really kind of a neat thing to do when you can't get into Club 33. You're not going to do 21 Royal. All of these really expensive Disney experiences. Like let's say that you could just walk into Club 33. Your meal is going to be $225 if you like wine. I think it's about $130, $140 if you don't get wine, which is kind of expensive. And the one that's 21 Royal, it's a table buy-in. You buy a table for like $15,000, and you can bring 10 people. And so, I mean, that's a kind of a sizable amount of money to do. And this is just kind of a neat thing. And like I said, you can look at this table, and there are scratches in the table from where, you know, they had meetings and were writing and were drawing and things, and they've tried to preserve all of that. There's custom art that the Walt Disney Studio did for the Tam O'Shanter. Like even when you first walk in and you look behind the concierge stand, there's like the owner surrounded by Disney characters, and everybody's wearing Scottish gear. It really is kind of a neat place, and to go back to the Hyperion days of Disney is really hard because we've knocked so much stuff down. A lot of those buildings are gone. This restaurant has been there for 100 years is crazy. So it's, you know, I kind of think it's one of those once in a lifetime experiences to do.
So Jeff says that he hopes that they would have veggie options, and the veggie option says like vegetarian option of the day. And when you go to their menu, they have a lot of fish choices, and I can't remember whether Jeff does fish as well, but they have cauliflower tikka masala as their vegetarian choice on their main menu. So I'm guessing that's what you would get, would be the vegetarian tikka masala.
Well, and
there are salads.
Right. So I know, sort of know the chef. I have met him many times, Chef Ivan. You can ask them, and he will even come to your table and help you out. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Moving along, the Tesla restaurant is opening soon in Hollywood, at the corner of Orange and Santa Monica, I believe. And this article in the SF Gate doesn't have an opening date or a menu, but it's noting that now that Elon Musk is not going to be in Doge anymore, he's going to have time to really buckle down and open up his Tesla diner. I think that eggs are too expensive if you wanted to egg the restaurant, so you might want to use perhaps rotten fruit.
Right.
Instead.
Well, you know, and like a lot of the people in recent times, there are no, you know, none of these promises have been fulfilled. And like 10 years ago, we were supposed to have self-driving cars from Elon Musk, and they're still trying to work out the bugs of that. Not very well. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out.
Sean?
Sorry, I saw somebody. See ya, Jeff. Jeff's taken off. Thanks
Bye, Jeff.
for jumping in. I was looking to see somebody. Maybe Jeff took care of it. Somebody was spamming us.
Oh.
And I can't.
Well, I don't see it now.
So maybe he got it. I don't either. Weird stuff. Okay, I'm gonna assume it's gone. All right. What do we got going on here? Colleen and I had a discussion about this today. because, and we have slightly differing opinions on it, but the HBO Harry Potter series has cast Harry and Ron and Hermione. So they've made their choices for their three main characters. And, of course, we all grew up with Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and Rupert Grint in those roles. And so, Colleen, you were worried that...
Well, I feel like these kids are going to get even worse. They're going to be treated even worse than like people in Star Wars are, because the Harry Potter series and the kids that they're playing are, they've already been played by other people. So in addition to the people that are going to be angry that their favorite show is being remade, the people that are going to be angry because, what's her name, who wrote it, is a producer, and
J.K. Rowling.
She just continues to double down on being a horrible human being.
Right.
You've got the people who are going to be angry that, they made different acting choices, and they're just going to be mean to them and horrible to these kids because they're not the original actors. But it's going to be really hard on these kids at all, because tens of thousands of kids audition for these parts, but these kids have signed on for 10 years of these roles. And I mean, the original kids that signed on were hoping that they would be able to go through all the movies, but they started making these movies before all the books were even out. So, if I recall correctly, maybe I'm wrong on that. But I just feel like these kids are going to get treated even worse than some of the people in, potentially, even worse than some of the people in Star Wars have. And Sean feels like they won't, that it won't be a problem that other people have had the roles before them.
I think it will be less of a problem than we think it would. I'm not going to say that people aren't going to be just awful, because people are just awful. And people just want to have something to whine about, something to complain about. So I think that the parents and the kids definitely should be prepared for terrible people. But I feel like, since they're taking a slightly different tack with this than the movies, because it's an ongoing series, and obviously the original three actors cannot play these characters, I feel like people will be, generally passive about it. And if the show's good, it should be okay. There will always be people who complain about it. Just like even the best Star Wars has its detractors. Like Andor is stunning, and there are people whining about that for sure. And there were people who just attacked the kids of Skeleton Crew because they were kids, which sucks. Easy targets, but people are going to do it. And I feel like their parents will probably, keep them.
Well, hopefully, if they're good parents, there is a. There are a lot of parents of children in Hollywood who are not looking out for their kids' best interests. So, fingers crossed that these kids are okay and are protected from the general crappiness of a lot of human beings.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, kids should be off limits. It's no secret that I'm not a huge fan of the current administration, and I wasn't a fan when they had the previous administration with the same folks. But I don't think it's particularly cool to go attack the guy's wife, and it's even worse to attack their kid. Like Barron Trump should be off limits, really. And honestly, for a kid who's keeping his head down, don't drag him into it. And so, anyone who attacks kids directly, I feel like there's something wrong with them, because they're kids, and just leave kids out of it. And in the case of, what kid wouldn't want to be Harry Potter, right? Somebody comes to you and says, "Oh my God, we loved you. You were terrific. Your audition was great. You are Harry Potter." Who's going to turn that down? I wouldn't turn that down. That would be amazing. But, as an adult and looking at J.K. Rowling and, her sort of turfiness and all that kind of BS, as an adult, yeah, I'd probably turn that down. But as a kid, come on. You want to do fun stuff, and it's the part of a lifetime.
You want to grab that the second to last topic, and then we will...
Surely. So, we had a kind of unusual commencement address delivered. We're currently in the end of the school year. A lot of Disney stuff going on. Is grad night in recent times up through the end of this coming month, and one of these commencement addresses was Kermit the Frog. He hasn't given a commencement address in a really long time. Kermit and I share a birthday. Kermit was born in 1955, rather, and we both made our debut on the same day. And Jim Henson graduated from the University of Maryland back in 1960. He was a home ec major. He made his original Kermit the Frog out of one of his mom's coats and ping pong balls. And so there's a statue on the campus of Henson and Kermit, which was really cool. And so Kermit made a return appearance to give the commencement address to the class of 2025, which is great. And so I think the full address is about 15 minutes long, but I've got a little snippet here that will play for you guys. This should be good for the folks on radio too. And let me see if I can make this do its thing. Nope, not yet. Hang on. We're a little old school over here.
Hello! I mean, wow, look at this crowd. Look at all these graduation caps with their decorations. Wow! Wow! What a thrill it is to be back here at the University of Maryland and celebrate the class of 2025! You're all here to listen to a frog in a very tiny cap and gown give a commencement speech on, what's actually turned out to be a pretty beautiful evening. Yeah. Either way, I can guarantee you the forecast calls for a 100% chance of frog. Now, I realize that today is one of the most important days of your lives, so I am honored to share some words of wisdom about 3 things that are close to my heart: finding your people, taking the leap, and making connections. Yeah. Now, you and I share someone very special, University of Maryland, and I am talking, of course, about my friend Jim Henson. Yeah, Jim, in the early days, he had a hand in literally everything I did. Yeah, Jim and his wife Jane were proud students right here at UMD when the food at the Stamp was good. But Jim believed that everyone had a place. Jim thought of that, and he made us believe it. And so, my whole life, I tried to appreciate people for exactly who they are, even if they are a pig who hogs the spotlight. Oh, I'm probably going to get in trouble for that one. So as you prepare to take this big leap into real life, here's a little advice, if you're willing to listen to a frog. Rather than jumping over someone to get what you want, consider reaching out your hand and taking the leap side by side, because life is better when we leap together. I know the past 4 years have brought more challenges than anyone expected. Sometimes it can feel like the challenges just keep coming, but look at you. I know that you're going to be okay. Because you're here. You did it. And I think that deserves another round of applause. Because life's like a movie. Write your own ending. Keep believing. Keep pretending. You've all done just what you set out to do. And you're just getting started. And congratulations to the class of 2025. Hello,
Anyway, there you go. Highlights of Kermit the Frog's commencement address. And music of Count Dooku for some reason.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
So we had wanted to talk about the costumes of the Met Gala red carpet, which was the first Monday in May.
Mm-hmm.
And we never got a chance because the first day we were super busy, and then in May we just had so many days that we had to miss for other reasons. So
Yes.
Now we're going to chat about the Met Gala, even though it was a couple weeks ago, because we can.
Fashion is timeless.
Right.
Right? All right, let's see here. Of course, it'd be nice if I could get rid of the weird Vogue thing up there. There we go.
Oh, it goes away when you, yeah. I mean, not entirely, but.
Right.
The theme of the Met Gala this year, well, this is interesting because it's called Superfine, Tailoring Black Style. And it was basically a celebration of Black dandyism. So focusing on the clothing of Black men. And so that's why you'll see a lot of people in some suits, like a lot of women in dresses that are suits.
Right.
Sort of a suit dress crossover. And that's, of course, what Rihanna has here is this interesting suit dress combination.
Right.
And is she pregnant?
Collar,
or is it
ascot. She looks pregnant to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. It's, I don't know for sure, but yeah, she looks like it.
I don't love this, but it embraces the theme. So,
Sure.
and the hat's pretty cool. Very Edwardian hat she's wearing. Ginormous.
Rihanna is currently pregnant with her third child.
Well, there you go. I do also like the on her belly. There's a like a stripy design that I enjoy.
There is, and I'm wondering if that's because this is very stretchy material, and or what. I mean, obviously she's trying to compensate for the baby bump. They apparently made their announcement of her pregnancy at the Met Gala.
At the gala.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like it could be stretchy fabric, but also that they're trying to make it look like a corset.
Right. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
The next outfit is Coleman Domingo, who I just saw in the new Four Seasons that's playing on Netflix, which I enjoyed. And this is like his before picture.
Yeah,
There's another one where he throws this off and he's wearing a different outfit.
He's got outerwear, basically. This makes me think of Babylon 5. I mean, I'm basically like, this is like Vosh.
Right.
It's like kind of crazy.
He's wearing something better under it, though.
Yeah.
It's one of those cover the whole thing up.
Oh my gosh, so many ads.
Look. Lewis Hamilton looks like, first of all, he's very pretty.
Yes.
And second of all, it looks almost like a bullfighter's.
Kind of, yeah, like almost like flamenco.
Yeah.
A little bit too. It's very dapper. I like the short coat.
Although I think it's tails, because if you look at his thighs, you can see the back of it.
Right.
Through his pants. Well, On our screen, you can't because that's no. Now you can. Sean moved it up.
Yeah. I'm a little behind. You say it, I'll do it.
Oh, see, but I can't look at the screen that you're showing it on because of the delay.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'll get there.
Oh, okay. All right. And then Pharrell Williams is wearing Louis Vuitton. I don't love this.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
And, you had to tell me it was Farrell because I don't recognize him without his big bushy hat.
I'm reading his name at the bottom of the image. Like the next gentleman is named $AP Rocky.
That is who Rihanna's having a baby with.
Oh, okay. And he appears to have a gun.
Yeah, he's got it's either an umbrella or a walking stick.
Oh.
Let me see if I can zoom in here.
I see. It's an umbrella. Yeah. But it's got like a ray gun handle or something.
Oh, here we go. I gotta find it. I know I can zoom in. Yeah, it does. It has like this Wild West kind of handle on it, and it's an umbrella.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So it is kind of interesting.
I like that. And then we've got Emma Chamberlain. I don't know who she is, but she's like wearing a deconstructed men's suit.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Yeah, not a fan.
It's a little like skin in the wrong place.
Yeah. And it's very, you look at it and you go, oh, a designer had fun with that, but it doesn't.
If
like,
this
look
were
good.
made out of lame, it would be a 1960s Star Trek costume.
Yeah. Lala Anthony is wearing like a jumpsuit with a prom dress over it. It's like half of a jumpsuit and half of a prom dress.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre.
Yeah. Wow. Teyana Taylor was dressed by Ruthie Carter. And she is like full on zoot suit.
Well, she's obviously a vampire.
Right?
I mean, there's no doubt. And it looks like she's got the Bob Mackie, I saw it in the window curtains.
And
tape.
in case you guys don't know, Ruthie Carter was the costume designer for the Wakanda movies.
Right, for Black Panther.
Yeah. I think it was it Black Panther 2 as well? I mean, I know she did 2 of them. I just don't know the name of the second Black Panther movie.
Wakanda Forever.
Right. And then we have Ego Wodim wearing a very kind of a joyful black outfit. She's all in black, and the little skirts of it, it's like a pantsuit, but with little skirts up around her waist that are kind of like this giant ruffle. And I like it. It's very happy.
It's very fun. It's very little girl.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever seen a grown woman all in black that looked as much like a happy little girl.
Yeah,
as
and
this woman
she's
does.
like crossing her legs and her arms are out, and she's like, "Yay!"
Yeah, I like it.
She looks like she's about to spin.
And the red shoes work well with that too. I'm glad she did red shoes and not black shoes.
Right. Definitely stands out.
Oh, you can always tell Zendaya, even though you can't see her eyes in this photo. She's got this 1970s garden party hat on.
She's in a pimp costume.
She looks like what is her name? She was an actress in the 70s. She's still acting now.
Faye Dunaway?
No. I'm trying to think of what movies she's been in. She looks like another actress, and I'm sorry that I can't bring it up in my brain. What her name is.
The silhouette is what we consider a traditional like pimp silhouette, really big hat and a slim suit and things. But it looks like it's all like linen or silk, and it's all white. Everything's white. The buttons are fancy silver, and it's like white on white on white on white. and it actually looks really, really good.
She looks fabulous. And I was thinking of Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton.
I
Okay.
could definitely see Diane Keaton wearing this outfit like,
Yes.
40 years ago.
Completely. I thought you were looking for, because of the big hat. I'm like, oh, like Faye Dunaway.
But the suit reminds me of Diane Keaton.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be a cross between Faye Dunaway and Diane Keaton. Would be this. But Zendaya just doesn't have the ability to look bad.
She doesn't. And, Faye Dunaway used to wear a lot of suits too.
Yeah.
And
Either one of them would have worn this.
yeah, and in fact, I have a red carpet picture from Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh,
where
Faye Dunaway's wearing the same outfit.
She is in a white suit. Yeah, it's not as tailored as this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's wearing no hat for her either.
Anyway, Zendaya so far is my favorite. She looks fantastic.
Oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, Hailey Bieber is wearing a tuxedo jacket and she forgot to wear pants.
Right. It's not even short skirt, long jacket. It's just short jacket.
She is apparently got some sort of a bustle going on.
Right, a train, something happening. Or there's someone standing behind her. We can't really tell.
True. But yeah, I don't like the I forgot to wear pants look.
And shirt. It's like she put on pantyhose, and it doesn't
and a suit jacket.
It doesn't even look like stockings. It looks like pantyhose.
And it doesn't even look like she put on her boyfriend's suit jacket because the shoulder pads are too pointed.
Yeah.
In it. It doesn't look like a man's suit jacket, even though it's very masculine.
See, I feel like this thing behind her might be the next woman.
Oh, yeah. You're totally right.
Yeah.
And that next woman is Kendall Jenner.
I'm generally not a fan of the Kardashians, but this is kind of a nice suit.
It's very classy.
Yeah.
I like this.
I'm still mad at the Kardashians for the whole Marilyn Monroe dress thing.
Right. This looks like it could be a very fine wool. And it's just lovely.
Torres Sheju is the designer.
The designer, yeah. Oh, I don't like the next one.
No.
Ayo Edebiri, and I like Ayo Edebiri. She was in The Bear. Very good. But, wow. I don't even know how to describe this. She's wearing a white sheath dress that is cut down almost to her navel. Doesn't look like she's wearing a bra. She's got a leather trenchish coat, but tighter with wild trailing scarf pieces off of it.
Right. The sleeves have scarves trailing off of it.
And then
the tails it's a cutaway with like very long tails hanging off the sides.
And then she's got beads in an upside down U on the front of the dress that goes from the waist to the floor and then from the waist up around her neck with this just river of red beads.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's trying to say something about
blood.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know either. It's weird. And then she's got like this I don't know if it's even really pin curls. She's got a really tight and low hair style.
Yeah.
That's very close to her
Looks
head.
very 20s.
It is. It's very 20s.
Yeah. And she's got like a dog pin or something like that, like a diamond pin that's in the shape of what might be a dog. That's kind of cute. Maybe it's a bear.
That would be funny.
I love Raul Domingo's sparkly purple suit with the big purple cravat. That's just fun.
That's pretty cool.
He looks like he could go to a disco.
Right.
Anna Wintour looks very classy as usual. Not exciting, just classy.
No, but it works. She's got a powder blue trench coat over a silver,
and it's a floor length trench
embroidered dress. But yeah. I mean, that's what you expect from Anna Wintour.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we've got B. Carazzini wearing a black black dress with maybe, I don't know, it could be beaded or embroidery.
Yeah, it's either
Flowers.
beaded or it's metallic thread.
Yeah.
It's got like vines and flowers down it. That's not bad. She
Yeah.
looks like she's going to kill somebody, though. She looks really mad.
Don't like the next one. It's Edie Kiernan Bunzel. I don't know who that is. But this is a dress that is a takeoff on a man's tuxedo, but is very much a strapless dress.
Right. And actually, so it has white lapels coming up to the bust line, and then it has this gathered fan that comes down. It's flat on the waist, and it curves up across the bust line with an opening in there.
I'd be interested to see the back and her arms,
right,
because you can't tell whether there's anything on her arms or on her back.
You can't.
It could be armless and backless, but you can't tell.
But it to me, it looks like she had to quickly compensate by using the napkin from the table.
It does.
to like cover herself up or something.
I like her button.
Like something happened with the dress, and
Right.
she had to fix it. And it's it has kind of this upside down bunting effect. And it's interesting.
Then we've got Law Roach. There's a lot of people I don't know, sadly.
Yeah. Yeah, same here.
Wearing a velvet, burn velvet,
Burned
so that
or
it's
crushed?
got. Well, no, it's not crushed. It's burnout.
Oh,
So
it does.
It starts
it
with
has
velvet,
a pattern. I
and
couldn't
then
tell it was
the
a pattern.
comes out of it with the acid that they used to burn. And what I really like is the woman who's behind him, or actually, I can't tell if that's a man or a woman. The person behind him has some sort of a fake animal fur cloak that is amazing.
In large quantity.
Yeah.
of-
It just
of that,
looks
yeah.
like a very luxurious blanket was thrown over one shoulder
Right.
in lots of pleats. I really like that.
Interesting.
Tyla is wearing a baseball uniform that's been from the 1930s that's been recut to be
It's pinstriped, but
very
it's
tight. It looks like a baseball uniform,
right.
pinstriped. But I like the style of it, although I think it could be a little bit higher cut. Like she could go maybe an inch higher. and
Yeah.
I think it
Well,
would
I
look
mean,
better.
she's obviously going like as low as possible on the
Yeah.
bust line with it. But because it's slipping off her shoulders, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, because it's slipping off her shoulders, it's bisecting her bust line in an unpleasant way.
Yeah, it's cutting into her breasts.
We're either she needs to put her arms down all the time, or she needs to resituate the shoulder straps so they stay on her shoulder, because it's like slicing her chest in
And
half.
it might have to do with the coat that she's taking off so that you
Right.
can see the top of her.
And I'm sure that's it. She's taking off
Yeah.
the coat, and therefore she's becoming slightly disheveled.
So we've blown past the top of the hour here.
Oh, well, I'll tell you guys that you're listening to Sci-Fi.radio. Sci-Fi for your Wi-Fi. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
Kit Boba-Kit Sovine, who does our show document and links and stuff, is working tonight, as is our co-host, Jeff Donoho, who popped in briefly while having dinner. It's just Colleen and I for the night, and we are currently talking about the Met Gala clothing that we missed a couple weeks back because we had some family emergency stuff and had to cancel a couple of shows. You could be watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. If you do that, we're very grateful for that. And if there's a way to like or subscribe or anything like that, go for it. And if you're already doing that, thank you. You're super cool. It's been a quiet night tonight. So many people we're used to seeing haven't shown up. So I think it's been kind of a crazy week for everybody. And we're just kind of goofing off and playing a little hooky by looking at everybody's fashions, and we're not as catty as Joan Rivers is, but
we're a little bit catty,
we're
but
just
not.
just a little bit. We don't want to. We're not a
very
mean.
much.
We're not a
That's-
mean catty.
Yeah, like if we get too catty, I'll generally like start apologizing for it because I feel really bad. Not that it's likely that any of these people are going to be listening to us,
Right.
But I would feel really bad if we hurt someone's feelings.
Right. I mean, we don't want people to be mean to us, so
Yeah.
we're not going to be mean to them.
Yeah.
We would like to go to the Met Gala. We just don't have the money.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Are we going to keep going?
Yeah. Do you wanna?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so Dapper Dan is next, and I don't know what to say about this one.
Well, I mean, it's hard to look at this guy and say that he's not on theme.
He's very much on theme.
He's got
But
some
he
really
looks-
unusual cat eye kind of glasses going on,
Yeah.
and some sort of pattern on everything. It's like a little heart
It's like little hearts,
pattern.
yeah. But some of it feels very much like the person who designed his outfit was new
Maybe.
or something.
Or it's-
I don't.
I mean, it kind of goes back to the sort of pimpish look.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of that.
I'm thinking more like the lace looks. There's lace on his lapels and on his cuffs, and it looks very slapped on
Yeah.
to me.
It does. It looks like an afterthought of like, how do we make this fancier?
I do like the glitter on his pants.
Yes, that's
which
very
is
cool.
stronger at the cuffs, and I don't know if that's just the lighting or
It's the
if
lighting because it's
intentional.
gathered
Yeah.
around his shoes. His shoes are great. He's got black and white wingtips, which are
Yeah.
great. And I mean, all told, he looks pretty good. He epitomizes the theme. But it has a slight amateurish look to it, which
does.
might be intentional.
Yeah, it could be. And he appears to be wearing a Tinkerbell pin.
A Tinkerbell pin?
It's probably not really Tinkerbell. That's just what it looks like from the
Allow
picture I'm looking
me
at.
to zoom
It
in.
could be a flower, maybe?
Where am I?
Other way.
Here we go. Yeah, it's a flower.
Ah.
But it
From a
has
distance, it looks like
it has a
Tinkerbell.
very Tinkerbell vibe.
Yeah.
And he's got a necklace at the closure of his shirt that is a watch.
It looks like Big Ben.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then next we've got Anak Yai wearing Tom Brown. And
Sorry, every time I zoom in, it like bumps me.
I'm surprised that you can't just continue to scroll in the Zoom.
Well, I can, but the problem is it will show you as an extreme close-up of like their buttons and stuff, and I'm trying to show as much of the clothing as possible
Okay.
without it being super zoomed in.
So I like the top half of this. I don't know how I feel about the bottom half. I feel like it's too stark of a change. It's a glittery black dress with a man's collar and tie, I believe, and opera-length gloves. And then somewhere just around her knees, it suddenly goes from being a black sparkly dress to being a very plain white dress with a big train.
Which seems to have like flap pockets on the side of it.
It's odd.
It's really
And
bizarre.
I can't tell if it's supposed to be, like, is that the white dress an entire skirt and the bodice goes long all the way down? Or is it two separate pieces that are cut together?
Yeah, I don't know. Because so the way the dress goes in the black, it has two pieces that come off of it that have been tied together in the front, and so they are tied up instead of hanging down, and they're tied up over this white skirt. Which honestly, the way this skirt looks, if it goes up to the waistline, like all the way to the waistline, it almost looks like it is a repurposed cape.
Yeah, kind of.
With the pockets and things on it, or maybe those could be armholes.
And I just realized the bottom of the top part, the bottom of the black, has these sort of straps coming off of it, like giant scarf size straps, and it's tied, and the interior of it is showing, and it's red.
Right, it's got red.
It's wacky.
And I mean, it almost looks like it could be like it's a bunch of different clothing parts. Like there's like maybe a sheath dress, and then there's like a coat that she would wear over top of it, which she is now tied around her waist.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
very
there's this
odd.
white cape, which were she to wear it on her shoulders, would come down to like knee length. And it looks like a bunch of different things all jammed together.
It does.
It's really very strange.
Then we've got Kylie Jenner in Ferragamo. Not a fan.
Nah.
It looks like she put a weird see-through corset over a different dress.
It's not even like so sexy it's shocking or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just typical Kardashian, whatever.
Kim Kardashian.
More of the same.
More of the same. She looks like she's got, like, if it weren't a formal event, she would be wearing skin-tight leather pants and corset.
Right. And it seems to have it's not exactly alligator, but it's square.
That pattern.
Well, maybe it is kind of alligator. It's basically a lizard pattern.
Right.
Through the whole thing in a very large scale. It's not doing anything for me.
Next, we've got Charlie XCX wearing another I forgot to put pants on
Right.
Outfit. It's kind of fun, like lots of feathers and fringe and thigh-high boots, but it's like she's wearing panties with a sheer tablecloth thrown around her hips.
Yeah, it looks like a collision of a bunch of different.
It feels like a
clothes.
lot of these are that.
It's because and so it's like pirate boots. They're up mid thigh for the pirate boots, and like they forgot the pants.
Yeah.
And like are trying to compensate by wearing the tablecloth.
Then we've got Chapel Roan in Paul Tazewell. And this looks very Elton John.
Chapel Roan is really interesting in that the artist Chapel Roan is a character, and so she's a singer, but she has created this character that is drag, and so basically everything she does kind of has this drag bend to it. I think she had a really strict religious upbringing, and she when she started doing stuff as Chapel Roan, and I don't remember her real name, but she just went like crazy left field loud with it, and this completely fits with that. It's a little Elton John, a little David Bowie, and it's
Kaylee Rose Amstutz
very pink.
Is her real name.
Is her real name, yeah. So anyway, so Chapel.
Although, is that dead naming someone if they have a stage name? I guess not if she's using
I don't
her
know.
name
I don't
still.
think so. I mean, we still talk about Elton John, and we talk about, that he was Reginald Dwight, and that's, it's a thing. And it's not, the name wasn't chosen as Chapel Roan because of
like in lieu of
being
it's
trans
just,
or anything like that. It's a stage name. It's a nom de plume. It's whatever. So, but the Chapel Roan character is drag, essentially, to have heard her tell it.
It's a fun outfit, very very Elton John. It's just missing a giant pair of sunglasses.
Right, exactly. But the makeup is there, and it's over the top drag makeup, which kind of makes you think of David Bowie a little bit.
Usher looks very nice. He's got a suit and a scarf just coming out of one side of his suit.
And he's got, I don't know if he has, I wonder if I can do this. I'm going to try and look in on his thing. He's got diamonds in his ears, like where you would have hearing aids or something.
Oh.
He's got diamonds.
But I think
there.
that is a place where people pierce their ears.
Really?
Yeah, it's on the little flappy bit. There's a specific name for it, and I've forgotten what it was. But I was kind of like,
because like I'm used
creeped
to
out
I'm
when
used
I-
to stuff on the earlobes. I'm used to stuff all around the outside of the ear. This is in the ear. It's like he took a diamond on a stick and went and stuck it in his ear hole, and that's really interesting to me. Nothing I'm going to do, but anyway, I thought it was kind of fascinating.
I just saw this. There are. Oh no, these is places you can get your ears like locations you can get your ears pierced.
If you had your ears pierced there, it looks incredibly painful. That's
Right.
all I got to say. But yeah, super dapper. He's got a like a watch fob hanging off. It's a classic tuxedo. He's got clips on the lapel that almost look like dress clips. Kind of an interesting thing. And then he's got a white scarf that's kind of peeking down there. I like it. I like it. And he's got a walking stick. Super classy.
heck?
Super classy. Very in theme. Ralph Lauren is the designer on his clothes. And yeah, I like it a lot.
That is called an orbital piercing,
Okay.
and it's the I think it's hard to tell where he has it, but orbital is like around the outside of your ear and all the way to the inside. But you can also get
Yeah, I'd have to see a side picture of the side of his head.
yeah.
Because it does look like one of those things.
You
that,
can also get a rook piercing, which is, I don't even know how to describe it. There's like the top of your ear has this little fold down part. And if you take your finger and you go under that, there's another piece that's like a flap.
Oh,
that.
no. I'm okay. So I found another picture.
Yeah.
It is, if you take, here, I'm just going to show you. Because if you take the inside of the ear, it is just to the inside of the outer part of the ear. So this is it. This is what he's got going on.
Okay, so that is called,
That's not an orbital.
no, it's called outer conch.
Yeah, it's like ow.
Yeah.
So whatever. But but from the front, it looks like they are coming
Or
out
it
of his
might be
ears.
inner conch.
I don't know. I try to avoid looking up piercings because I end up with really unpleasant things in unpleasant
could be
parts of the
conch.
body.
Just call it a conch. It's a conch piercing, but that sounds naughty.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't even have pierced earlobes anymore, so I am squicked out by all of it. Sabrina Carpenter is wearing Louis Vuitton, and this looks like a gymnast outfit.
So this looks like anything Sabrina Carpenter is likely to wear on stage.
Who is Sabrina Carpenter?
She is a singer.
Okay.
She was a Disney kid who did some Disney TV shows. She is currently touring as a singer.
She also has no pants.
She has no pants, but at least she's in like a bodysuit. And this is the kind of thing she'd be very likely to wear on stage without the tails coming off of it. And so this is like on brand for her.
Okay, Jenna Ortega looks cool. She's the next one.
I loved this
She's
one.
wearing Balmain, and she looks like, I don't know, a construction site.
she is basically wearing strips
of metal.
of steel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm gonna.
And her hair looks really cool too. Very,
Let's see.
early 1940s.
Here we go. So I'm kind of zooming in on this. They are rulers.
Wow.
They are yardsticks.
That is super cool.
Let's get super
This is my new favorite.
zoomed in, right? All right, I'm going way deep in here. Yeah, check that out. They are all
is
metal
super
yardsticks.
Yeah.
Hey, and now we know how big her waist is. It's kind of neat. And then they're cut and sewn together to make plates going all down the entire dress. And they're sewn to the fabric underneath.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I kind of dig this.
This is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, wow. And I absolutely love that these are yardsticks. That's really great. I think I've got one in the other room. Like this.
And her hair looks fabulous. Very.
Jenna Ortega, either she is on the ball or
she has a great
or her
stylist.
people are on the ball because she always looks good. She always
and her
looks good.
jewelry is nice. It's not overstated.
Yeah.
I like that.
And she's older than we think she is.
Oh, really?
But not much. But, she always plays these like sort of teenager kind of roles. And I think she's like 25 or something, or 26. And it's like
22.
I'm just always impressed.
She's not older than I think she is. She's 22.
Okay. All right. I thought she was a little older than that.
No.
Yeah, totally dig her look.
She wasn't alive for 9/11.
Right.
Yeah. And then we've got Chimamanda. I don't even have any hope of being able to pronounce this.
Hang on.
Chimamanda
Ngozi Adichie.
in Prabal Gurung. And I think this is just adorable. It's very happy, very fluffy. It's got bow ties and, Windsor knotted ties all over the dress. So
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's very, not cheerful, but...
And it's like, what are these, ostrich
whimsical.
plumes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very whimsical.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That's definitely
It's
fun.
up there in my favorites. And then we've got Laquan Smith.
Also with the ostrich plumes.
Yeah. I can't tell if this is a capelet or if it's I think it's a capelet.
I think it's a capelet. I don't think his arms are going through any sleeves or anything. I think it's just over his shoulders.
So he looks like he's wearing a standard tuxedo with an ostrich plume capelet over it.
Yeah, it looks like a satin tuxedo.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And then we've got Nicki Minaj in Tom Brown. It's okay. It's fun.
Yeah, it's all right.
I like her corsage.
More pinstripes.
I didn't realize that was there at first. I thought that was part of the background.
Yeah, she's got like a waterfall corsage that goes down
Her whole arm.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. To me, more looks silly.
She looks like something is eating her.
And she doesn't look happy about it either.
No. Sometimes, and I don't know that this is the case here, but sometimes people have a look that says, someone talked me into this dress.
Yeah.
And I'm regretting it now.
Her look is very much like, when will this be over?
Right.
I really want to be at home wearing pajamas.
Well, and I feel...
Or at least take this weird conical thing off
right,
of my
the cone of
head.
shame.
Yeah.
She's got, in reality, though, she's probably going to go up the stairs and take it off. And
yeah, probably.
Do the rest of the thing. So, yeah, that's...
and then...
That's weird. That's interesting.
Oh, I like this. Monica Barbaro in Dior. And this is...
Oh, I was going to say that this is Dior. Like,
yeah,
completely.
it's New Look.
You could tell. Yeah, wow.
Was New Look Dior or was New Look Chanel? But it's 100%. Oh, it's
I thought New Look was Chanel.
New Look historical clothing.
Dior.
It's Dior. Okay, so this is 100% New Look.
Yeah. It's great. It's
the
very,
only thing
very retro.
that's different is, well, I mean, the skirt is more ballerina fluffy,
right.
but it's still New Look, like 100%.
Yeah.
And
the skirt looks like an
believe the
underpinning.
hat would there are a lot of skirts that look like that, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
The hat doesn't look new look to me, but everything else,
Monica Barbaro.
100% new look.
Yeah, I dig it.
Which is like 1947.
I feel like she should have gone brighter on a lipstick, but that's, that's just
Yeah,
me.
because it should, since she's going new look, she should be like all in on it.
Yeah.
Which means that she should have bright lipstick to
Yeah.
go with the 1947 look. But the hat is not right. The hat needs to be bigger. And her gloves are a little odd.
It needs to be bigger, and I feel like it needs to be felt, the hat.
Yeah.
That's like a straw hat. So
Yeah. It looks like the kind of straw hat that you buy from Michael's to decorate.
right, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her gloves don't look like they fit her
They're
right.
big.
Yeah, they
They're
need to
big.
be better. But
They look
love
like
the
men's gloves.
new look dress.
Yeah, I mean, great attempt. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Dochi.
There are 307 pictures, by the way.
Yeah, we're only at 35. We're not going to be able to go much longer because I'm falling asleep.
Right. Well, let me know
Dochi
if you
and
want to
Louis
skip ahead
Vuitton.
to stuff that we,
Oh,
like
should I look
highlights.
for things that I actually like?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we could go one by one for a long time.
Go to number 35, which is Cardi B.
Okay, here's Cardi B.
Very much looks like a swashbuckling costume, although I'm very worried that she's going to have a costume
Malfunction. Yeah,
there
wardrobe
with her
malfunction.
lack of bra.
She's got a very Pirates of the Caribbean vibe with a cummerbund going on, and that's interesting.
I like Keke Palmer, but I don't have anything to say about it.
Okay. It's got attitude. I like it.
Lauryn Hill has a guy holding a parasol for her, which I think every woman should have. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's a very interesting. She's got like a lemon yellow suit with a big train capelet thing. It's very the cape train thing is very like Queen Elizabeth, and the suit is very standard masculine.
Yeah, the next one I like is number 40, Gigi Hadid in Miu Miu. And this looks very...
Oh, that's classic.
Like 1930s.
Yeah, I dig it.
Glamour.
Yeah, she got the hair and the earrings to go with it. And
Yeah. Very glamour.
you can't go wrong with that, in my opinion. You just, old school, vintage, classic Hollywood. It's like you can't miss with that.
Anna Sawai is number 42. Seems to have stolen... Is doing the same outfit as Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Right, Zendaya.
Zendaya, thank you. Except Zendaya's is better.
Yes, Zendaya's pulling it off better.
Yeah.
That must have been an awkward meetup in the bathroom.
Seriously. And that's funny because I just got an ad with Zendaya in it right next to her.
And Anna Sawai looks like she's going to smack somebody with those gloves.
She does.
As you know, this means war. Oh, hey, Kit made it in. Hi, Kit.
Hey, Kit, we're doing after show.
After show.
Christian Latchman, number 44, looks interesting, but still not my favorite. Like, it's a skirt. Oh, God. Halle Berry, no. Number 45.
Number 45. Oh, wow. Wow, no.
Yeah. No.
Halle Berry is missing her Catwoman costume.
Yeah.
And has gone like weirdo Selena Kyle. I mean, the train is kind of interesting, but the stripes of nudity are a little odd.
They're a
That's
lot.
weird. I like the train.
Heidi Klum is next. She looks good.
Always looks good.
Angel Reese is after that. She looks okay.
I like it except for the bare midriff. It looks like it tore.
It does. It looks like the crack in Doctor Who's wall.
Right.
In Amy Pond's
The
wall
time
for
crack.
Doctor Who. Yeah.
If were that closed up, she would look very Wednesday Addams.
Right. Doja Cat is number 50, and I don't like it, but it is notable.
49
wacky.
and 50. Oh, weird. Wow. Those are some shoulders. And hair. That's big hair.
So the next wacky one is Jaden Smith, number 53.
Oh, Jaden Smith. Always.
He, made his own, I think. He took a suit out of his closet, then he took a blanket and threw it over his shoulders.
Right, blanket from the linen closet.
Yeah, and then he made some sort of a head thing out of wire.
Yeah.
That, plasticized wire.
Something is attacking his face.
Yeah, it's a piece of wire. It's very weird.
That's wacky.
Sophia Richie is okay.
Yeah, she's all right.
Nicole Shazak. I like Lana Del Rey, number 56. She looks very classical.
Yeah, that looks good.
Tyler Mitchell is 57, and Tyler looks very joyful. Very happy. Oh,
Yeah.
no. And Alex Consani is number 58, and she's like the antithesis of
Whoa.
Tyler Mitchell. She's very frightening.
Right. I think she escaped from Star Trek.
Audra McDonald, I don't know whether I like this or not. Number 59.
I am not a fan.
Yeah.
It looks weird and bulky.
Number 60, Sydney Sweeney. The dress is fine. The hair is not.
Yeah, so this is like the hairstyle du jour, I guess. Everybody's doing this really tight. This reminds me of the weird poster from the Rocky Horror Show where they show Columbia with her hair completely glued to her head. Yeah, that's really weird. The dress is okay, but the hair is just...
Number 65 is Brian Tyree Henry. A red suit, red silk maybe, with riding boots and a fabulous wrap.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I really love the wrap. So I'm a fan of that.
Lando Calrissian would wear that.
So 67 is Deandra Hopkins, and
Bad hair.
His hair made me laugh.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise he looks great.
It's interesting that groups of people are walking the carpet, or at least if they're in order that they walk the carpet, each designer has got their celebrities coming through.
Interesting.
So there's a whole bunch of celebrities in what I'm looking right now by the designer Fear of God.
Right.
And I noticed that there were some other ones that were all together. Fear of God doesn't really do much for me. It's
Lauren
very,
Halsey looks
homeless person.
weird.
Stacked. Weird. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop some
I prefer
tags.
the Ruth E. Carter, number 71, Jasmine Tooks.
Right.
I like that one shoulder cape with the jewels
Right.
hanging off the other shoulder. That's kind of cool.
I need a better term for this, but it's more of the pimp look.
Yeah, you need a better term for it. Not a fan of Ivy Getty at number 72. Taraji P. Henson forgot her pants. More Fear of God. I'm definitely not a fan of the Fear of God look.
See, the problem is I cannot find another term for the pimp look because everything just says it's the pimp look.
Well, you could call it, I guess it's not really, I hope I'm not getting Alzheimer's. I can't remember things anymore. men in the 1940s zoot suit.
The zoot
It's like a
suit.
zoot suit, except they're tight fitting with a giant hat. So it's
Yeah.
not really a zoot
I mean, it's
suit.
not really that. Where are we at?
I am at Shurigatwa, number 79.
79. I saw an adorable little Shurigatwa little people figure today.
That would be hard to pass up.
There were 6 doctors, and it was Shurigatwa. It was the female doctor, Jodie Whittaker, and then it was David Tennant and Matt Smith.
I want all of those.
They come in a set. It's in one set, and they're all adorable.
It's terrible. Where were you?
The Mattel
Target?
store.
Oh, you went to the Mattel store.
Yep.
Telling me you're going to get gas and then you go to the Mattel store.
It was on the way.
I am a fan of Shurigatwa in almost anything he wears, and I think this looks nice. It's not as fun as some of the things he wears, like I've seen him wearing in other places.
Yeah.
But it's a good color on him. I don't know if I like the cravat that much.
The thing that isn't selling this to me, and this is just
And white gloves are a little odd.
this is just my personal thing. He is such an exuberant individual, and he just looks so unhappy here.
Yeah, he looks somber almost.
He is always laughing and smiling and having fun.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love about him in interviews and in
I wonder if it was just like they told him to be serious.
maybe
Or something
I don't
like
know
that.
what it is.
Or if it's the suit.
It's not a bad suit. He just doesn't look like his usual self. It's like he's like, I'm having tummy trouble and I don't want to be here.
Omar Sy, number 81. I like the suit is okay, but the colors really pop on him. So I like that.
Yeah.
The pop of a really, really bright yellow.
It reminds me of like a lizard skin kind of thing. I like the
Yeah.
pattern, and the yellow really goes. And the sort of matching shoes are neat.
So, and then number 83, Paul Tazewell. I would like his skirt to be shorter.
Yeah, more kilt like.
Yeah, and I don't like the pockets because he's got his hands in his pockets and it makes the waistline look bigger.
Right.
And I think it would be nicer if it looked more slim.
See, at first I thought these might have been Hakama pants, but they're
Oh.
not. They have a zipper, unless they're split below the zipper, and I can't really tell. But this is very much a skirt.
Yeah.
And
It's like someone tried to take and combine, rather than just wearing a kilt with a tuxedo jacket, it looks like they tried to make a kilt out of a tuxedo,
well, and
or
a kilt,
tuxedo into a kilt.
A kilt would have worked so well.
Yeah, it would have looked really good.
Yeah.
And it would have tied those boots in, which I don't really... The skirt coming down over the top of the boots, I think makes the boots look weird.
Yeah, it makes them stand out for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Aura Star is 84.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't love it, but I love that the interior of her skirt is a different color, and you can see that through the slit.
Right.
And I like the way she's standing in that.
And she's coordinated with her fingernail
Yeah.
polish and all that kind of stuff.
Well, but I don't like her fingernails. I really get freaked out at those sharp, pointy looking fingernails.
Right.
They wow.
That's
Alton Mason.
Alton Mason, yeah.
Looks like he escaped from a 1970s space movie.
Right. And he also has the Bob Mackie curtain rod in the shoulders look from
Right.
From
This is from Hugo Boss. And I like the heart-shaped cutout so you can see his six-pack.
right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
these are my
It's
pecs.
very fun.
It's which basically makes it look like the I Love Lucy heart logo.
Yeah,
But,
it does. But it definitely, he looks like he's on an episode of Buck Rogers or something like
Blake
that.
Seven or
Yeah.
some kind of weirdness.
This is an interesting, number 86, Thames in Oswald Boateng. It's just very interesting.
I like the pattern on the skirt. That's real fun.
So the umbrella that matches the cravat, how the top of it looks very much like menswear, and that the dress goes down to her thighs before it comes out.
Right.
It's very interesting. I think when I first looked at it, I went, "Oh, I don't like this," and then now I do like it. So.
But again, with the stuck down hair.
But the bow makes up for that, I feel.
Yeah, I guess so. The curls glued to the forehead.
Yeah, very 1920s.
Yeah.
And it's also I think that's very African American hairstyle thing. So
yeah, it doesn't look. It looks better than most.
Yeah.
On her, some of the people have gone a little crazy.
Right.
Sarah Snook.
Not so much.
It's like.
Wow.
She was aiming for steampunk.
Janelle Monáe looks like she fell off a playing card.
Yeah. Well, okay. Janelle Monáe, period,
Right.
is always like left field.
I love the briefcase
That's
on
printed
this
on
coat or whatever she's wearing.
Yeah.
That's wild.
The entire thing is just like one whole printed
And the thing over her eye.
thing. Which here I'm gonna go in for a big zoom here because it's a watch. Let's see here.
Oh, I thought it was a compass.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a watch, but I need to zoom in. There we go.
I'm sure that it's a statement about like businessmen or something.
Right. Yeah, completely. So it says it's currently at 4:00, and it's held in place with a brass thing and it's mounted to the hat.
Yeah.
Coming off the hat. It's really kind of an interesting thing.
I like this outfit. Like I wouldn't wear it, to anywhere but the Met Gala,
Yeah.
but
And amusingly, the briefcase is like an applique. So it's like a separate piece of fabric attached
yeah.
to the whole deal. But it just reminds me of those costumes from the 1970s, like the Ben Cooper ones where you wear a vinyl thing.
Number 90 is Stefan Diggs, and I believe this is the other side of the fur we saw earlier. And sadly, I don't like it as much from the front.
No, I don't either.
From the back, it looked really fabulous.
Yeah.
I don't care for 91 Kaytranada.
That's weird.
But I'm not a fan of Alexander McQueen. So
Right.
I know like fashion gods are going to strike me down. Oh my gosh. What is Andre 3000 wearing? It's a piano.
Andre 3000. I met that guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's part of Outkast, and he was doing a music video on the Sony lot in 2006 when we were shooting our Roast Parade video, and he took pictures of me sitting in the Ectomobile, and I took pictures of him sitting in the Ectomobile.
Oh,
but
fun.
we did not take pictures together because my brain doesn't work that way. So somewhere there's a picture of him in the Ectomobile that I took.
That's fun.
And I have the pictures of me, of course. So we just handed each other's cameras.
He's wearing a piano. I know that this is some form of statement, and he's holding a plastic bag.
I feel whatever he's holding is whatever he's going to change into. But
You'd think he'd have people.
it has a very thrift shop. Or conversely, why is that piano not a backpack?
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, it's strapped
Right,
to
but
it,
I mean, like, why is he not storing things in it?
why doesn't he store things in it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
agreed. I feel like it's part of his statement.
Unless it's a statement, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know what that statement is.
I don't either.
Oh, that is
But
really awful.
it's absolutely fascinating.
Natasha Lyonne is wearing McQueen. I don't like McQueen.
What number?
93.
Oh, no. No, there's a lot wrong with this.
94, Quinta Brunson in Sergio Hudson. It looks like she has a pair of pants on that are like too big for her, and so they go all the way up to her boobs.
Right.
Don't
right,
like that. Oh my. Regé-Jean Page, who is always very attractive. He was the lead in Bridgerton season 1.
Oh, I see.
Very pretty man.
Right.
Stunning in this orangey red suit and coat.
I would like to see crisper pants because the pants look a little bit like jammies.
They do.
But the layered coats are great. The shirt is fine.
He could use a wider cuff at his foot.
His shoes are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should come down over the laces.
And the color on the pants don't look like they match.
Right.
Perfectly.
It's
everything else matches.
Everything else
perfectly.
is perfect. I wonder if they had to make a substitution or something.
Maybe.
Or they didn't get the pants done or something. Because the pants are like the weak spot in an otherwise really strong suit.
Right. Good Lord. 98, Amelia Gray and Valentino.
97, Questlove is a Pearly.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Wow.
She's like an aviator who's wearing several different eras of underwear
Right.
on the outside and is at a wedding for a vampire?
Yeah.
Like schoolgirl. I forgot
Right.
schoolgirl.
What
the heck is that?
it makes me think of somebody who's kind of like got a little dementia. going on.
Rachel Brosnahan is 99. I don't even recognize her, and this is a lovely purple dress.
Yeah, so Rachel Brosnahan is in the new Superman movie as Lois Lane. I'm completely there for it. We loved her in Mrs. Maisel.
I gotta say, though,
not a
I
fan
would
of the
take her in
hair.
her Mrs. Maisel look because she looks a little too harsh in this.
Yeah, her hair makes her look too severe. But the dress is nice.
Number 100, Giovanna Battaglia Engelbert and Sora Choi. They look like they put together fairy costumes.
Right. It's kind of cool. There's a couple of women who go to costume college who made like sort of fashion Predator costumes, and these people remind me of them.
They always do really good costumes. I know
They do.
you're
They're
talking
amazing.
about. 104, Rosé in Saint Laurent and Tiffany and Company jewelry. She's just wearing what looks like a men's tuxedo and then has a fabulous wrap that is maybe like silk or something.
You said wrap and not rack, right?
Wrap.
Okay.
Yeah, with a P. It's not outstanding, but I like it.
It's simple. It's understated. Not bad. Red shoes with black clothes seems to be a thing this year.
Yeah, I like that. Number 106, Stella McCartney and Mary J. Blige in Stella McCartney. And Mary J. Blige is wearing a mocap cowboy hat.
Right? It's all wireframe.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. That's really bizarre. It's very interesting. It reminds me of a top hat I had that the fabric disintegrated on. The silk shattered. And it was one of those collapsible ones.
Madonna's looking...
Oh, her face has come back.
like herself.
Well, so for a while, Madonna had some surgery that made her look like she was about 12. She went too far in one direction. And now she kind of looks more like Madonna than she did for a while.
It must be hard to be Madonna and be aging.
I'm sure it must be really
really
hard.
No.
But her eyes don't match now, which is a little weird.
Number 108, Preciously. Just no. No.
Yeah.
Number 109, Mihala. This looks very fashion show.
Yes.
In that weird, I'm part of a weird fashion show.
It's runway in that, like, we are showing you
Yeah.
clothes that you shouldn't wear in public.
Plus, the person behind her's camera looks like it's part of her hairdo.
It does. It's like she's got a cannon on top of her head.
Yeah.
Cannon like shooting cannonballs, not cannon like a camera. Coco Jones is nice.
Uh-huh.
It's not bad. Caleb McLaughlin is in Dior. He's 113. He's got a very nice kind of suit with a contrasting melon-colored collar and mint-colored gloves. That's interesting.
Okay, the next one that I really like is number 119.
119.
Diljit Dosanjh.
16.
Diljit
17.
Dosanjh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But he looks rather like he's wearing a costume.
He does, and I will assume that this is like fashionable ethnic dress.
Yes, I believe that is the case.
But even at the Met, it comes across like I'm flashing to like Captain Nemo,
right,
kind of stuff.
I'm sure it's just an ethnic.
Yeah.
thing, like you said.
I think it's sure.
But it's beautiful.
It is merely that we don't have as much exposure to this,
right,
as we do some of the other stuff. So.
Shakira is wearing like a lot of pink fluffy silk.
Right. I like the sort of like cut lines on the front of the dress that like give an even harsher silhouette.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of interesting.
123 Laura Harrier in Gap Studio. This is like Palazzo pants taken to the extreme.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. She's hiding small children under those pants.
I don't know if I love it, but it's really fun, and I think it would be really fun to wear.
Provided you didn't trip over your cuffs.
Right. That would be a thing. Um, 125 John Ema in Sergio Hudson, with standing next to Sergio Hudson. I very much like the embroidery on his coat.
Oh.
It looks like motherboards.
Hang on, some ad has taken over, and I cannot get back. There we go. Hang on.
I think I'm going to have to give up soon because I'm very tired.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have some stupid hotel ad that keeps trying to take over.
Well, maybe we should give up now.
So maybe now is the time.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm back. Yeah, a lot of interesting looks.
129 Angela Bassett. I do not like this.
I didn't like her.
Her fabric is
look. It was.
I don't like her hat. Not a fan
See,
of her
she's
hair.
got Farrell's hat. That's the kind of hat I associate with Farrell.
Yes.
Her cane has the same issue as the one that we got in the mail today, which is it's 3 sticks screwed together.
So this is interesting. I don't like the fabric of Angela Bassett's outfit, and yet number 132 is Lu Wen. Very similar texture of fabric, but I like it here.
The color is better. The cut is more slimming.
Yeah. But I thought it was a problem with the fabric in the other one, and I think it was more the colors.
Is that a burnout again?
I don't think so. I think it's It's like heavy duty stuff that you would put on a couch.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called.
Upholstery fabric? Embroidery?
Yeah, but there are other words for it. I can't remember.
Okay, I'm zooming way in here on her so we can see what the heck it is.
Usually when you think burnout, it's a thinner fabric.
Yeah.
It could be burnout. I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Because it looks really thin where the pattern isn't.
Yeah, so maybe it is.
Like it could be netting.
Yeah, and if it's netting, that would explain more of why the fit is so good.
Right. I'm trying to get a...
Number 133 is Future, and I do not like this one. It's wearing like a snowsuit made out of tweed.
Yeah, no, he needs a couple more layers so he looks like Randy from A Christmas Story.
Yeah. 134 Miles Chamley Watson.
Dashing, but the fabric should be better.
I like the color.
Yeah, I like the way it looks. I feel like
here.
the fabric doesn't have enough structure.
135 Vera Wang. No.
No. Vera Wang has gone full Yoko Ono.
138 Damson Idris. I would like to see if this is a hat or a helmet that he's holding in his hands.
It looks like a helmet.
His suit is nice, but
it looks
I
like
would
a helmet, and it looks like it has a Rolls-Royce logo on it. Hang on a second, and let me see if I can find another picture. Of course, it would help if I can spell Met. Apparently, I cannot. Okay, here's a better picture. It is a helmet, and he started on
a motorcycle.
No, well, in a motorcycle suit.
Oh, interesting.
So this is a Bell helmet that's been,
and he took that off and had his
bedazzled
specs under it.
And I assume because he's wearing those red shoes.
Yeah.
So.
And puffy pants.
That's what I think happened. I think he took off his thing. I think it did like a stripper reveal. Because he had some people like come in and take his costume off while he was there. So
we should wrap it up.
We should.
I am too tired to continue.
Okay. We will call it where it is. I don't know how far we got through. There's like 300 pictures. We made it halfway through. That's pretty good.
So Jeff Goldblum is dressed as Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum is always dressed as Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. What number is he?
158.
158. Jeff Goldblum has now made a career of being Jeff Goldblum.
Completely.
And he's been doing a lot of
appearances.
Music appearances. You said 158, right?
I did.
I'm going to make everybody sick by going really fast. 56, 57, 58. Yeah, see, he is the character he played in Marvel.
Oh my gosh, there is a man. I know I said I needed to wrap this, but Jeremy Pope is at number 170. Is dressed as a dress form.
Really?
Yeah. But like a 1930s dress form or a 1920s dress form because he's got the hair for it.
Let's see, 170. Oh, look at that. I have seen people do this. I have seen people wear like dress form covers as clothes. It's fascinating. I assume that there are closures here What? Oh, forget it. I zoomed out and it snapped me like way back to whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
don't
well,
care.
we did say we were going to stop.
We must be done because the software says we're done. Anyway, if you're still hanging out and cruising with us, we appreciate you doing that. We missed all of these things a while back, and we lost the top of Colleen's head.
Well, that's okay, because we're going to say goodnight. Good
Right.
night, everybody.
I will be on the air tomorrow to wrap out the week on sci-fi.radio. You can join us over there. That's the URL. That's where you can listen to the station 24/7. So if you're listening to us on the radio, please do that. If you were watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or whatever, we're grateful to you for doing that. And we always appreciate your company. I know we've been gone for the past couple weeks. We've had some sort of family emergency kind of stuff that we have been dealing with. And we very much appreciate your guys being patient as we do that. Big thanks to Kit for doing our show document. We are grateful, as always, to her for doing that. And Jeff still has like 4 more hours, 10, 11, 12, 3 more hours at work driving submarines for Disneyland. So with luck, he will be with us next week. I think he said he has next Thursday off. So he will join us then. And also tomorrow, if you join me on Good Morning Tatooine on sci-fi.radio at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We will see you there. And Colleen's getting a phone call or an alarm or something.
It's an alarm that says it's time for bed.
Say goodnight, Colleen.
Good night, Colleen.
Good night, Sean. We will see all you guys later. Here's our credits. Watch them. Be amazed. Aren't they incredible? Sure they are. We'll see you later.